What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live. I hope you're all doing well tonight. I see quite a few people in chat already. You guys are always so quick once we go live, so we really appreciate that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, guys. As a lot of you may know, if not, you've been really busy the past week, but there was an Inart Vegas event this past weekend. So we're going to talk about that. I know a lot of you guys are probably interested in hearing our thoughts on it. So we're definitely going to do that today. We will be having Oilers Workshop in here to talk about his thoughts. He was at the event, so who better to hear it from than directly from somebody's mouth who was there. But we're going to start by watching his video and kind of going over some of the things that he looked at the event. I'm going to kind of breeze through the Queen Studio stuff just because obviously we focus mainly on 6 scale. But of course, if you want to watch the Queen Studios portion, definitely check out Oilers' video and you can watch.
There's definitely not one statue we're going to just zap past them. We needed to
so,
look at that.
So just ignore it, Lane, saying we're going to zap past everything. I'm assuming he's talking about the Nightmare Batman, just a thought.
Yes,
but,
yes, the Nightmare Batman.
But yeah,
quarter scale looks great.
It is very nice. But let's get the video started, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? By the way, we got a full HD shot of Oilers here. It's like he's here, but he's not. But how's everybody doing tonight? I know you guys know I was kind of under the weather for the past week. I'm still kind of getting over it, but I got my voice back, so that's all that matters, right? Sorry once again, guys, that we missed the stream last week. I really wanted to do it, but it's like not only was I feeling like crap. Chris ended up having a slight injury from work, I'm assuming, but yeah, so he's got something on his arm there. It was just a combination of things. There wasn't that much news, so we're like, you know what, we'll take the week off for once, you know.
And we got plenty on Saturday, so we can make up for it. We got more than enough to talk about this week.
Let's see who we got in the chat tonight. We got Lane Kramer in the chat. Lane, how's it going?
I'm amazed. I heard that guy's completely awesome.
He wasn't first in the chat, though.
Yeah, he wasn't, though. Of course, Insane One, our friend Insane One, always the first in the chat. How you doing, Insane One? I hope you're doing well. I've been talking to Insane One a lot over the past couple of weeks because there's a lot of cool stuff that's been coming out that we both like. So good to see you here. As always, smoke them if you got them. Dude, I swear I see you everywhere. Every stream, whether it's a YouTuber stream or if it's Sideshow putting up their stream. I hope you're doing well. My friend, the Collector, good to see you. Not much, man. We're just going over the Inart stuff. It's a great night when you're talking about 6 scale on a Thursday evening. So I'm really excited to talk about this stuff. Mandalorian Huntress, a familiar face, but thank you for recently subscribing to the channel. I'm glad you were able to get into the giveaway. Guys, I've decided the giveaway is closed. So if you enter the giveaway, you will be eligible to win. We have so much to talk about tonight. We're not going to run the giveaway prize tonight. It's just too much. I'm sorry. And I want to make sure that it's done properly. So either Lane and I will record a video or we will do it next stream. So we'll decide that after this, but it will be within the next week. Speak of the devil, there is Oilers. Oilers, how's it going, bro?
I am not the devil.
Actually, yeah, you're the opposite of the devil because you did, like I said the other day, you did the people's work and you got us these awesome photos
for the video.
If you would just make those end of those mustaches a little bit curlier, we call you Doc.
Sounds good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on, bud.
It's good to have you, man. And like I was saying as we started the stream here, who better to have on than someone who was actually at the event and someone whose opinion I value and trust quite a bit. So,
oh no.
Oh no, yeah. Don't sell yourself short. But we have your video pulled up here. We're just saying what's up to everybody in the chat. But let me see. Did we breeze past anything? Not really. So I guess right off the bat, Oilers, and I kind of told you in PMs, but this is a figure that I actually already have paid off because I was waiting and waiting to see who would do a Bruce Wayne. And when I saw Inart do it, I'm like, oh, they're going to give it an honest try. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, that's unfortunate that this seems to be like the weakest one from the event. And just based on the footage that you put out and the photos and such that we've seen, that's kind of the opinion I have it. I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this one because it doesn't look too hot in the videos and the photos, and especially the sculpted hair, particularly on this one. I don't know if it's too convincing, in my opinion, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
It's deceptive because of the lighting and the material. It in all the footage and videos, it does kind of look really off, but it's not that off in person, to be honest. Like looking at it with your own eyes, it does still need work in my opinion, but not a lot. Like I feel like just spending some time tweaking it, it would be flawless. But it's like I'm going to say this. I have a recap. I'm still editing. Actually, I'm just way behind on it.
Oh, nice.
Just of my personal thought, just my own thoughts on my own that I'm probably going to try to release maybe tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but my opinion on that figure is like each piece of him looks good. Like his nose is right, his eyes are right, his jaw's right, his everything's right. But something about how it's all placed together feels off to me. And I was also thinking it might be just the coloration of the material that they cast it in, or the underlayment that's just making it feel off. Because even like that right there, that looks pretty good. Like there's certain angles that look
right. The side profile is nice.
Right. There's certain angles that look great, and there's just a couple that look. I heard people kept using the word soft, and I agree.
Yeah.
But I do agree with the sculpted hair. The sculpted hair looks like it needs more fine detail in it, and they could have it. But it is the weakest one of the event, in my opinion. But I do think it looks much better in person, but it still does need improvement.
And that's about like the idea I had of it. And since we're mentioning like softness of the sculpt, overall in terms of the like the flesh tones, obviously the Joker is kind of a different story, but in terms of the flesh tones, how do you think they compared in terms of like depth when compared to Hot Toys, for example?
This does look more like flesh to me. I mean, Hot Toys still does too, but Hot Toys is it's cast in a flesh tone, and then they are like doing depending on what they're doing, whether it's digital printing or like airbrushing over it. The material that they used, the way that it, to use a term from CGI, the subsurface scattering that occurs when light hits it looks more realistic on this, in my opinion. But as soon as they get the face right, it'll look hyper real instead of just real.
Right.
So I don't really know what else to say about it, but I think the choice of base layer material they're using is a much more realistic material as far as how light hits it.
It's understandable. And it's like, I feel like too, it's definitely these light boxes they have it in. It could throw things off. And like you said, seeing it in person is a whole different thing. And I know this one, the Batman in the suit and everything seems to be the one that people were most impressed by. I mean, you could even look at like Justin's collection videos and look at the views on all of the videos, and the one of the Batman blew everything else out of the water. So that shows you like what is kind of interesting people the most, or it could be like the algorithm. But generally speaking, it seems like most people, including yourself, this is the one that's kind of like the home run for you. And it's like, me personally, I'm looking at this sculpt and it's like, it's the sculpted hair again for me. It's like, it doesn't look bad, but just something about it looks chunky to me. And I don't know if you kind of have the same thoughts on all of them. And now I did get a chance to look at the Joker in Justin's video with the sculpted hair. And I do agree with you. I think it does look better than I was initially thinking when I first saw the photos and such. But this one, I don't know. I don't know if it's the lighting, kind of like you said, the lighting kind of plays into it a little bit when you're not seeing it in person, but their sculpted hair just doesn't look quite 100% there to me. But I'm curious to hear what you say, because the sculpted hair, it's like, obviously with Inart, a big selling point for them is the rooted hair. So it's like, I would be very curious to hear what percentage of their customers are getting the sculpted hair versus the rooted hair. Oh, CMB. Sorry, CMB. I didn't see you jump in here.
No
man.
problem, man.
My bad. I literally just slipped down. But yeah, Jordan, tell us about this this Batman figure, because I know you're really juiced about this one. I know you're saying like this one is super, super impressive in person. So kind of share your thoughts briefly on this one.
I really wanted to steal it.
I don't blame you. It does look cool. It looks really, really cool.
Okay. I'll say this in my review, and I've thought about this ever since I saw this on Saturday. And there's a reason I'm going to say what I'm about to say. Like look at my ads. Hey, I made 4 cents.
Yeah, you're making money off of me, man. Stop.
Thank you. Thanks for the 4 cents. What was I saying? For me, I talk about this in my review, but toys, so many of us that collect these 6-scale figures are graduating up from a smaller scale. or we started, typically most people who collect 1/6, I don't think just never bought a toy and then suddenly started collecting 1/6 figures. They usually had other toys, right? And so there's like this graduating up into this size and this price point. And with that comes like the feeling of why we love toys, which is we could play with them, we could interact in our own little worlds. And the more real they looked, the cooler it was for us as kids.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing that always made that for us when we were young, before figures got this good, like if you're playing with original 1990s Turtles figures and 1980s He-Man's figures or whatever, the fact that you could move the arms and it came with like 3 weapons, it was like the coolest thing in the world.
Right.
Yeah. But then when they started coming out with more articulation and more weapons, you're like, this is even cooler. All right. And so I was explaining that to Jason and John. I was like, look, this is why the 1/6 collectors have these high expectations of things like articulation and accessories, because it brings out the nostalgia and why we started loving action figures in the first place. And even though we're not going to go out and play with this in the sand, you give us that, we'll love you forever. And this figure hits that so hard for me. And on top of that, it looks like someone threw Pym particles at Battinson on set and put him in that case. This is the best action figure I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really? Wow.
I'm not kidding. And I'm completely confident saying that. I freaking love this thing. And I pre-ordered it day one from Todd at Spec Fiction, and I am so happy that I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying with like comparing it to kind of like those childhood memories of those figures and like those upgrades that are kind of at the time, it's kind of something new and innovative and how it makes you feel. Me personally, this is definitely very impressive in terms of how it looks. And guys, for myself, when I'm talking tonight about these figures, I'm strictly going on how they look, because obviously I don't know how they feel in hand. I don't know how they articulate. I don't know how well it's put together. So I'm strictly basing on what I'm seeing here, because I don't want to speak on anything else, because obviously I won't know until I have some of these figures in hand. But me personally, based on what I've seen, it definitely looks really good. I definitely really dig the cape on this one. Though I do have the deluxe set from Hot Toys pre-ordered, and I feel like even though this one could be a step above that one, I still think that one looks exceptional to the point where I don't feel like I have to pre-order the Inart version. You know what I mean? As much as I love the Batman, I think Hot Toys, the price point for me is very attractive. The 515, where you get the deluxe base, you get the bat signal. And I do think they did a good job on it. Again, is it possible that Inart has taken a step above? Certainly, but I think the Hot Toys one, the price point, it not only speaks to me, but it's going to speak to a lot of people. And obviously you have your options with Inart where you can get the sculpted hair, and that's good. But for those that want to get the rooted hair, it seems like they may be getting priced out on a lot of these figures. And I think that's a big conversation for these figures is price. It's like, I don't think that the Joker 2-pack for the sculpted is a bad deal at all. Like you're paying through Spec Fiction, I believe it was like $650. I know a lot of these websites now have them back in stock magically, but
surprise.
Yeah, surprise, 3-day window. Just kidding.
There's a lot of magically delicious stuff happening.
You know what it was? It was a warehouse find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A pre-found warehouse find.
It was a pre-found warehouse find.
Yeah,
guess what, guys? We
find one of them
to sign up for.
Yeah, if we find one of them that we send you that someone already has like checked out before you even have 5 seconds to like hit the link button to try and go, ooh, I'll get that. And then you're like, sold out. What?
Email, like right when they like drop the email, I'll get it and I'll go to see if I can grab something, and it'll either tell me it's in somebody's cart already or completely sold out. I'm like, how's that possible? I just got the email.
Dude, some people work so fast, it's crazy. See, I want to touch on a couple comments here. So I thought this was actually a very interesting point. So John said he really wants to pick up the sculpted because he'd keep the cowl on anyways, but he's picky with characters he picks up. So yeah, that's a great point. If you're not going to use the head sculpt, why spend that money for the rooted? Because that's the only difference between these editions. If you're getting like the 2-pack to the 2-pack, you know, you're just getting the sculpted versus rooted hair. Now, I guess if you want the sculpted or the rooted hair on the Bruce Wayne, that kind of sways your opinion one way or the other. But yeah, if you're just getting the Batman, there's absolutely no reason to spend that extra money. And for me, I went with sculpted. So again, I mentioned earlier, I've already paid for the sculpted Bruce Wayne. But I do also have the 2-pack Joker on pre-order, the sculpted version. And me personally, it's just, here's the thing, guys. It depends on what type of collector you are, truly. Either you have a lot of money, you buy a lot of figures, and you have to be smarter about the amount of money you spend on 1 or 2 figures, you know? Or you have a very focused collection. Now, I could see these Inart figures being perfect for someone who has a very focused collection, because you're not buying as many figures. You have the funds to buy the rooted Joker or the rooted Batman, you know? Me personally, it's like I truthfully, I buy most of these new releases. And Lane, everybody, right? You could speak for this. So
we buy lots of stuff.
Exactly. So it's like, not only do I not personally care for rooted hair, as good as it looks on this Joker, because it does look fantastic, I just can't justify spending $300 extra where I'm like, I could spend that $300 on another figure, you know? And that's almost like 2 Hot Toys battle droids, you know?
And if you're buying a line of something, like, you know,
right.
Recent examples, we talked about the Bad Batch. Now, listen, you might get off 5. If you buy this, you'll, even though they're years away or anything, like let's say they were coming within the next year or something like that, you might have to look at that like, okay, well, I can buy this for $1,000, but I could get the sculpted hair one or the 2-pack and have $400 more, and then buy, you know, that's Wrecker. You know, like I spend my money for Wrecker because he's like $330 or something. Right. You know, that kind of, and you want an entire setup. This what I like about these, and I don't know how you feel, Euler, with them, at least so far, since they seem to be doing kind of single releases, and because we're still early on, or maybe they're going to have a few part of a line, but maybe limited, like Lord of the Rings, is you can buy these almost more with the increased pricing that some of them have. I think they have too many SKUs for some of these things. I think it makes it really confusing a little bit, but it makes it easier if you wanted to buy. I think these guys fit for one-offs, don't they? Almost in some ways, if you want to buy them, you know, or how you guys feel with that. Like I'm just getting the rooted one Joker. I've had him pre-ordered since day one.
I mean, sculpted. You're getting sculpted, right?
I mean, sculpted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting the sculpted one because he is a means to finish setting up my Dark Knight scale figures, because he's going to go with my Catwoman. Of course, that one has rooted hair. And then going to go with my DX19. So he's allowing me to, along with my Batpad, kind of finish getting what I wanted from the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
But do you think them being a little bit more individualized might help people being willing to spend so many, like what you were talking about, with being maybe a little bit more specific, because they're willing to buy individual figures? Because I don't know, we ain't got 8 figures on the line. Do you have to necessarily think about trying to buy all of them or something?
Yeah. The impression I got from talking to John and Jason, their live panel afterwards, and what they've released so far, is that they are treating, and this has been talked about before, but they are treating the 1/6 scale figures just like a statue company would treat statues as far as what to release. They are picking key pieces, and then if they feel that there's a market to branch out from the piece, they'll make other pieces to go with it. They're not going, you know, they are not Hot Toys. They do not have that infrastructure, and they are not making a plan to, like, let's make 30 figures from this property. They're going, let's pick a key figure that we can make beautiful and one-off and special. And then if the market is there, we will branch outward. And that's a lot how most, I said, from except for Iron Studios, that's how most companies operate statue-wise, right? They're like, let's premiere this piece.
Mando?
What's that?
They're not going to do the Mando and give us like 35 figures from a line?
Oh, no, they're not. They ain't going to get
Dude, that still makes me laugh to this day, how many figures. Remember that chart that the people had?
Yeah, but still not. I mean, we talk about Endgame with a lot of stuff, but I mean, that thing like almost doubles Endgame for total release.
Right.
I went through their licenses.
But not all statue companies follow that path, because if you look at Prime 1, like the Hot
No,
Toys
Pine
thing,
Run will
they're-
release the
they're
thing and then release
releasing,
3
like,
color
you
variants.
know, one franchise, and then they'll give us like 20 statues from that franchise.
Death
Yeah.
metal. Or metal.
So I want to point something out real quick while I have this frame pulled up. Just looking at the Joker from the side here, this is the reason why I don't personally like rooted hair. And I have a few figures with rooted hair, and it's going to be the same case with all of them. There's going to be some involvement with the figure that needs to be done in order to keep it looking nice. Because you could see here, and obviously people are breathing on it, and all these sweaty nerds are in one room breathing at the same time. You know how we are when we're all together at a convention or something. It gets sweaty. So
you gotta call
humidity and
Oilers out
stuff
like that, man.
Hey, I'm part of the sweaty nerds, but you could see here in this shot, it's kind of frizzy from the side, and you can kind of see it from the front. So for those of you that are newer collectors and you're getting into the stuff with the rooted hair, just know that it does require some maintenance to make it look as good as it does when Inart puts up these promotional photos and such, because it's just like real hair. It has to be maintained or it's going to get frizzy. It's going to get out of fashion. So I just wanted to point that out for those of you that are new to rooted hair and you've bought into these sets, or you're considering buying any of the Inart rooted hair figures, or even rooted hair figures from Hot Toys or other companies. Just keep that in mind. It's a pain in the butt. You had to kind of learn how to do it. I'm sure there are some videos on YouTube on how to maintain it, but I know a lot of guys use a toothbrush with a little bit of hair product on it, and it kind of works good enough. But
in Justin's video, I watched that when he was manipulating the head. It looked like it already had some type of product. Like, it looks stiff.
It certainly does. It
Yeah.
certainly does. And Oilers, you could probably speak on that. It does look like it has a bit of some sort of product on it to kind of keep it at shape, which makes sense considering they're replicating the look of a character as accurately as they can.
Yeah, this isn't coming from me. This is coming from Justin. He said that what he was told when he was doing the review, he actually did the review apparently a couple days beforehand in their Airbnb.
Oh, interesting.
He was saying that he asked them, and their goal is to, like those cylindrical clear containers,
Yeah,
with the
which
heads
is a
in
good
them.
idea.
Their goal was to ideally have it done so you don't have to do anything and you can just put it on the figure. And they'll put the product in. He actually said they're asking people not to put product in because they think it might mess up what they did to it.
Well, the good thing is people are going to do it anyway, so we'll see what happens when they do it. I think maybe someone will be able to,
like the jet fuel in the guy in Frogman's boots.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He put the wrong fuel in and he paid the price for it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure somebody can find a product that's kind of like a neutral product that won't hurt anything. There's got to be something out there. I'm not super familiar with rooted hair. I only have a few figures, but I typically just use like water and a little bit of a smaller like travel toothbrush on it, and that works for me. But that's good to know. CSI had an interesting question here. He said, an extreme hypothetical. How would you guys feel if Inart just disappeared, stole your thousands of dollars, can't sue internationally? Well, obviously, I would feel like an idiot because I've already given. Well, here's the thing. Actually,
That's
I'm
not
good.
Gonna happen, guys.
Right. It's not going to happen. But if it did, I would be fine because I bought from a U.S.-based company.
That's like if you suddenly opened a briefcase on the street with $10 billion.
Right.
Goodbye. It's never going to happen.
I don't think they
are
would spend all that
licensed
time
with their one-to-one scale
Right.
bus and other things internationally with large companies, and Inart is part of under their tree. If they pulled something like that, they would lose all their business real fast.
Right. Yeah.
Tried it, then everybody would just go after Queen because that's their backer.
Yeah,
So-
that ain't happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
I guess it was good that he put extreme hypothetical.
Yeah.
Andrew says, let's be honest, every human wished they had sculpted hair. Hey, dude, perfect example. Words to live by. Eddie, how's it going, bro? I hope you're doing well.
You put Gorilla Glue in, you could have sculpted hair.
Oh God!
So,
you like that,
guys,
chick?
Oilers is joking. Just saying. Yeah, that one
Gorilla
chick.
Glue in your
Yeah.
rooted hair figures.
Um.
Actual hair.
So, guys, I
Like
will
extreme doll makeup. Sorry.
Say, right. I will say
I was gonna
something
say about the product and the hair. There is
go for it.
product out there you can use on rooted hair, but it has to be neutral. So that way, if it dries, it doesn't give like how when you move hair gel in your hair, it flakes and it looks like
and
you
it's
got
like
a head full of
stiff as-
dandruff.
Yeah, stiff as a
Yeah.
board.
So there is product out there, it's professional product that you lightly. I mean, you got to put on like rubber gloves and just put
Yeah.
a little dab.
You
on
guys
your
realize
Typically,
what you're
that's going to be
saying?
water based.
Words to live by, Carlito.
You're gonna want to look for the professional stuff that doesn't. If you do decide to use it, the product that doesn't make it flaky, because over time, what'll happen is, like, say you use standard gel or hairspray, as the heat or your display wherever, as the temperatures go up and down and whatnot in your house, the hairspray and gel will get old and it'll start to get that white haze. So what'll happen is your Joker will look like he went gray.
Yeah.
So, at this point, you realize where you've done the tipping point where you're having to talk about hair keeping product.
And
for your action figures.
And this is
Have
also.
you maybe gone the tipping point?
Right. I'm gonna
New
tell you guys
business
right
idea.
now.
Great rooted
CNB
hair
open
gel.
an action figure salon. You could be the first.
There
There
you
you go. Boulder and
There you
Boulder is
go.
going to create doll hair.
I mean, I already have
for
to.
Inart rooted.
I already got to
Lane will be
worry
your
about
first
it.
customer. You
Yeah, I already
practice
got to
on him.
worry.
I said hair
there's
gel.
no
I
hair
didn't
to
say hair
practice on.
growth.
I already got to worry about maintaining all this crap on her up there on the bookshelf.
It's not fun. But so guys, if you don't like maintaining your pleather, for example, like, you're not gonna like maintaining rooted hair, because it's the same thing. If you're like a set it and forget it collector, you're like, hey, I'm gonna leave that in my display exactly how it is for the next 5 years. You may not want to get anything with rooted hair and or pleather, because it's a lot of work. I wanted to say this, and we obviously can't see it in this video, but in Justin's video, in the previews that he did on these figures, that's what I'm gonna call them, because they weren't really reviews in my opinion. I really do. Out of all the things I've seen with Inart, the thing that I am the most impressed by is that new magnetic system for the pegs. It's incredible. It really is. And again, I say this with a grain of salt, because I did only just see it in the video. I haven't handled it myself, but based on what I saw in the video, that's a good innovation. Like, the rooted hair is whatever. That's nothing new. That's just something that they're specializing in. But that peg system, it's such a pain in the butt to take the traditional 6-scale pegs out of the hands and off of the body. And not only that, I can't tell you how many times I've been yanking the hand off and the head or something popped off my figure and just went doink, 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 bounced across my room. This magnet situation may alleviate that and may make your life a lot easier. And it's like, that's the type of stuff to me that I'm impressed by, because that's something that I personally haven't seen from another 6-scale company. Obviously, most companies, Sideshow, 3-0, Asmus, Hot Toys, all these companies use a traditional peg design where it just slots in and out, and that's it. So seeing that is something different. It's cool. Go ahead.
What I also thought about was, because he didn't really show the magnetic base, like, how strong it is, but also we know Hot Toys bodies are pretty good over time. Sideshow isn't,
Yes.
obviously. They're pretty loose.
Yes.
Standing on a magnetic base, he doesn't have anything underneath him supporting him. Will the joints loosen up over time? And then he's like, swaying or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a big concern of mine. So what I was hoping, and I kind of knew once we saw that Justin put up the videos, I knew that he wasn't going to go too crazy with the posing and such, especially because some of them were prototypes. But what I need to see is how these figures stand on these displays with the magnets, because it's like, look at all these crazy poses and stuff that people utilize the crotch grabbers for, or the waist grabbers. So it's like, how crazy of a pose can you get out of these figures and have them still be stable on the base, And I don't know if Oilers, if you asked like how strong the magnets were, or like any sort of testing that they've done with this, but that's a big curiosity of mine. And Inart, they aren't the first ones to do the magnetic base. There's another company, I believe they're the ones that did the John Wayne figure and such. They have the same type of like magnetic feet and magnetic base concept, but that is something that definitely has piqued my curiosity, and I'm a bit skeptical about, because I want to see how, like, kind of how, because even if you have a figure like Batman, if you have him kind of leaning forward and his legs are spread apart quite a bit, it's like, how well are those magnets going to hold him,
Yeah, Justin was showing us that on the rooted Joker, he opened that case and was showing me and Riley that there are multiple magnets in the feet. So when you bend the feet and you put them on his toe, it'll hit the base, and it hits pretty hard. So I don't know about how the joints will hold up, but the magnets were pretty darn strong, and there is multiple points in the feet to hit the base.
That's
so
good.
Theoretically, you could have a walking pose, and it will hit the base and stay on.
So I was right.
That
don't
is
have
true.
Credit cards near that figure. All
yeah,
the
right.
Magnets don't have any credit cards or bank cards near that figure.
It's wiped out. If so,
What's
Stevie
the, I
said
was gonna say,
curiosity
it's
killed the
already
cat.
wiped
Yeah,
out from the pricing.
bam, smack it off the display. Leighton, hey, what's up, man? Leighton, I appreciate you calling us legends. We're just simple men trying to make our way through the galaxy. But Leighton said, just put on a toy hunt after a big week. We'll be back with you guys shortly. Hey, dude, enjoy. Let us know how everything goes. Let's see. Yeah, so collector, I would agree with you as long as with the magnetic pegs, again, a lot of this stuff is a theoretical good idea because again, I want to have it in my hand, and I will be reviewing my Inart figures. Don't worry. But I want to have it in my hand first before I go too crazy saying, oh, I love this, I love that. But just visually what I saw in the video, I'm like, that magnetic hand design is so smart. Like, that's a good innovation, you know, because these pegs are a pain in the ass. They really are. I mean, I opened a figure the other day and the peg just came in pieces. And it's because the way that they're manufactured, some of them don't kind of make it through the QC process and they split in the middle. I mean, look, even like Terry from Sideshow, he had to put up a video on how to remove those pegs because a lot of people have pegs break in the hands. And I feel like with this design, you won't have that issue, you know, at least not as much, hopefully. Tremble says the leg joints are ratcheted, which makes sense using a mag base. Yes, and of course, there are good versus bad ratchets. So it's one of those things. Again, I kind of want to see it in hand to kind of form my opinion on the body because bodies are hard to get down right. But I will say, at least in the videos that I've seen from Justin, it seemed to be a decent body. But I don't know until I have it. This is another thing that impressed me quite a bit, and I'm sure Oilers and everybody else on the panel would agree. This is an incredible diorama base here, and this is part of the reason that I got that 2-pack. Is this diorama base here is super impressive, and after I saw this, I'm like, man, I feel bad for those who bought this from overseas because it's going to be very expensive to ship. Not only is the box massive that we saw, but look at this display base. It's going to be heavy because this is all die cast in wood, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's really, really impressive. I don't know if you had a chance to like touch any of this stuff. Like for example, the other Joker where he's in the jail cell base. Did you get a chance to touch any of this stuff at all
I
during
tapped
the event?
bars. Justin, again, he walked us over, and he tapped it, and I tapped the bars, and the little top piece where there's the bracket holding on the bolts on the very tip top of the right column. I touched that, and yeah, it's all metal, which is pretty impressive. Like that's
very,
you know, if I were to make that by hand, which I could do that, it would take me quite some time. So I'm sure they made molds and there's as many die cast pieces as possible, and they just cut the beams and assemble. That's a lot of assembly, and that's a lot of, I don't know if they tack welded stuff or glued stuff, but that's to get all that stuff to stay in place. But it is very impressive, and I honestly think that diorama base, especially the metal back part, is probably a good chunk of the price of that whole set that's in.
It's got to be. And again, like I do think that the Joker 2-pack is the best kind of value for your money so far from Inart, in my opinion, just based on what you get. You do get a lot of accessories. There's a lot of die cast involved. Not only that, it's being that so I'm into firearms myself, seeing that the firearms have the official manufacturer's branding, like the Smith & Wesson on the SMG, the Glock having the Glock branding on it. That's pretty impressive alone because obviously with a lot of the 6-scale stuff, they don't even bother doing that because they don't want to pay the licensing costs. Even down to like Marty's Nike Air Mags, they don't have the Nike logo on it because these companies don't want to spend that extra money for the licensing. So to see that even the firearms have the branding on it, I think that's pretty neat to me. But yeah, this jail cell base looks really, really nice to me. I think they did a great job. And obviously that's a very iconic scene from the film. So I'm glad that they went with something like this for the 2-pack because I think it's a really good kind of view of two different sides to the Joker from that film. So kind of my last question about the Joker for you, Oilers, is like, what are your thoughts after seeing it in person on these like kind of swap out forearms with the hands kind of built into the forearms?
I like it. To me, it definitely seems like an art and a visual first approach. Like, meaning, let's make it look as good as possible, and then work backwards from that to make it swappable and articulate. And so they're giving you the two options, right? You do have the pegged forearms with hands, and then you have the magnetic pegged forearm and hand combos. I really like that because they're going how do we make this look good, and then working backwards from giving the toy type collectors an option to move it around. I think it's great. I love it a lot.
And my last question about those arms is, do you think that they're able to articulate low enough to where they can kind of sit flush with the thighs where he has his hands sitting on his thighs, or was there a bit of a gap in between?
You mean just bending the elbows down?
Well, yeah, like the hands. Like, is he able to bend the hands and kind of the hands look natural resting on the thighs? Kind of how we see here in this clip from your video, how he's got his hands resting on the thighs. Are they sitting almost flush? Like, does it look natural? Or is there a bit of a gap in between the thigh and the hand?
I mean, it's lightly on there, but Justin's the one who posed that, so maybe he just was trying not to force it.
Gotcha.
But I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because obviously in a lot of the promotional photos and what they had on display there, they had the hands kind of resting on the thighs to mimic that portion of the scene from the movie. So I was just curious if you could replicate that, because I do think it looks good. Here are those firearms that we were talking about earlier, guys. And it's good to see. I love when companies like Hot Toys and Inart also obviously go into detail with the firearms, where it has a workable slide. You can pull the magazine out. There's visible bullets and such. So I'm glad that they didn't skimp on that, because I recently reviewed the Sideshow Crow. And though those firearms had some of those features, there wasn't as many. And they kind of just did the bare minimum, This one, Gandalf seemed to be one that had kind of the most mixed opinions online from what I could see. Interestingly enough, Denobi said this was his favorite at the show.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was surprising to me, because honestly, like, I fully expected the Joker to be everybody's favorite, just because it's the first figure. It's the figure that got everybody interested in this company. So I was very surprised to see everybody kind of going towards the Batman and not the Joker. But also, yeah, this Gandalf, it seems like a lot of people are divided. I'm curious to hear what you guys think on the panel about the Gandalf. Me personally, I don't have much to say about it, because I'm not big into Lord of the Rings. You guys know this, or should know this by now if you watch us often. But I'm curious to hear, especially from Lord of the Rings fans on the panel, what do you think of this Gandalf in terms of accuracy and how he looks? No Lord of the Rings fans?
Nope.
All right. Well, hey guys, Gandalf, he's pretty awesome.
Pretty much got everybody's answer right there. The silence said it all.
I think the detail and accuracy for this figure looks really good. I'm not as much into the details necessarily as some other channels have been. I think the figure
Damn
looks
you,
good.
Oilers.
Buy some earbuds. Just kidding.
And then I like the detail with the beard and everything, although some people told me it should be longer. Maybe my main thing is I honestly prefer the Gandalf the white look much more than Gandalf the gray. But I also like Saruman and stuff, so look with Christopher Lee better. So I think it looks really good. I know there's been the sword and some of the objects are supposed to be metal and stuff. So I think it's going to
stream. What's wrong with the hat? Sorry.
Everything's. Right. I know everybody's about the hat. At the end of the day, it's a wizard hat.
It was the same with the Asmus one. Everyone hated the hat. Now they have the new hat coming out, but I'm sure people won't like that one either. To
me, it's a wizard hat. Looks great. I'm not that into the details necessarily. Maybe I'm not enough hardcore Lord of the Rings fan. It looks like the wizard hat.
Me too. I'm like the worst one to ask, because I'm not into the Lord of the Rings at all.
I really like them. I watched them multiple times, but I think it looks like Gandalf to me. I think the facial sculpt looks very good. But like if I had to choose between spending this one and Asmus was having that, you guys might remember they showed a prototype of the Gandalf the white with the Shadowfax horse. Yeah. Even though I know the Asmus, the production and the thing is going to be but in comparison. And you might go, well, what if like 2 years from now they put out a Gandalf the white? It's Inart's is going to be better because they will have improved since now with their 1/6 scales figures in theory. But I might buy the Gandalf the white because I like that look better, and it comes with the horse. Yeah,
and that's the other thing is like I don't know what the pricing is on the Gandalf the white with Shadowfax. I don't know if you know if it's up for pre-order. I honestly haven't followed it. But I'm sure it's going to be significantly cheaper. So again, some people seeing that like package deal for a lower price, they're going to be enticed to go with that one if it looks
There you
good
are,
enough.
Cigar.
He said it, it looks like someone fashioned a hat out of a wool sock.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best. The hat is not the best part of his outfit in that figure. No,
Andrew
That's how it looks like
says,
to me.
yeah, Andrew says Gandalf looks cool, but for him personally, Gandalf is one of those characters where if he looks close enough, then hell yeah. But maybe it's because I'm not a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan. Yeah, I mean, definitely if you're a hardcore fan of a franchise and you're really into the details, I could see why people would gravitate towards the Inart one. Of course, the price is pretty high. It is $500, and it is just a single figure. It's not a 2-pack. So because of that, a lot of people have had very controversial
but we know,
opinions
like
on
at
that
least
one.
an Aragorn and a Legolas are going to be coming with it, so we know there are going to be other ones to pair with. So that might also be an incentive for if you're not necessarily going to buy all, like versus Pennywise or the Joker or something. That might incentivize you to pick up that Gandalf instead because you're going to have some other things to stick with it too at the same time.
Yeah, Pennywise is one that I wanted to comment on because I am a big horror fan, and I do have 2 of the Hot Toys Pennywise.
I love this figure.
Can you guys see me on
and
camera?
get this.
Would you say,
This
Oilers?
is one I want.
Can you see me on camera?
Yeah, we can. We can see you.
Okay, I can't see you. For some reason, it's fine. I couldn't tell if you could see me. No worries.
Yeah, so don't pick your nose. We'll be able to see you.
Oh, thanks, Oiler.
Perfect.
Going mine.
Tasty.
So
Green gold.
I kind of want to hear everybody else's thoughts on Pennywise too, but my personal opinion on him, I'm not like blown away, but I do like it, you know.
Which else sculpt do you like?
So
The Hot Toys one, so I like this, but I don't like the Pennywise head sculpt. I like his monster head sculpt more.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
I don't know, something about the standard head sculpt looks off. Like it doesn't really look like his face. I don't know. It's just every time I look at him, like that's not Pennywise. You know.
Are you not telling not Billy Skarsgård in it?
I like the Hot Toys balloon too.
And that's
I
that
don't like
too.
the Hot Toys monster face though, because the Hot Toys monster face looks like Pennywise got a mouthful of candy corn.
Right. No, this that's what I was gonna say too. And Cigars and I really agree on this one because I'm not blown away by the default sculpt whatsoever. Not only that, the sculpt or the rooted hair on Pennywise, that just seems like a nightmare to me. Like the shape of his hair is so unique. There's no way that I would like happily buy that, you know. But the thing is, here's the thing. I absolutely love this like cynical teeth sculpt on the left. It's incredible. It's incredible. And it does blow the Hot Toys teeth sculpt out of the water because the Hot Toys one absolutely does look like it just has like a pile of nails or something in his mouth, you know.
It's like mouthful of candy corn. It's like the teeth are shaped wrong. This one, you get the sharp teeth and they're individually in there, whereas the Hot Toys one just looks like, you know, they just molded a bunch of triangle shapes and stuck it in his mouth.
Yeah, it's something's off about it. But again, I will say I do this sculpt looks really, really good. Not impressed by the original sculpt, and again, it definitely worries me the shape of that hair. I feel like over time, again, with the upkeep, it's just going to be a nightmare for some people because I don't know how well it's going to hold its shape. It really depends on what they've got going on in terms of products and how they've styled it, but it's still going to fall out of shape eventually, you know. Matt, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Matt says he just got done seeing Black Adam. Tons of action. Curious how Inarts will look. Yeah, so for me, the thing is like I think the Hot Toys one looks incredible. So that's not even a figure I'm interested in from Inart. Inart, I want to see more like stuff that either hasn't been done in a long time or stuff that everybody's been asking for that we know other companies won't touch.
Bane.
You know? So
give us a Bane.
I think Hot Toys is going to do Bane, though. I really do.
Yeah, give us a proper body Bane, not Bane who's skinny.
And people that are fans of Inart, I think they probably want to see if they like the rooted hair, they probably want to see characters that they can implement their rooted hair on, because like there's only going to be so many differences that they can implement between the 2 Black Adams, you know, because The Rock is bald, so it's like
rooted eyebrows, bro.
Right. I mean, it's who knows? Who knows?
Remote control eyebrow raise.
So
that's what's gonna happen.
So
remote control eyebrow.
Who here has got this figure on pre-order, and which version? If you guys have got it? I haven't. I'm not going to be getting because I'm not interested in
the only thing I have on pre-order is the Joker. Like I got my son the Joker sculpted solo, and I got myself the rooted 2-pack. But I'm gonna wait. Like if they they come out phenomenal like they're showing us, then I'll consider moving on to possibly getting
This Pennywise is.
But as of right now, I want to see what I get for the first figure. I don't want to pre-order a bunch and then find out later in the line, like, oh, damn, you know?
The Don, right? Thanks, Don.
Do you smell what the Black Adam is cooking?
Hey,
No.
spoiler. One question, because I know there was a little bit
what?
of yes, no, maybe so. I know that's usually the best answer to give. At the show, I know there was a little bit of, because of with how Justin said some were prototype when we thought some were supposed to be like kind of the final, but not, all manufactured yet ones or whatever. I'm assuming Joker, that was the final. Like final, this is what you're in theory supposed to get.
All three of those
Pennywise
Jokers
and Gandalf.
I'll tell you all of them if you want. So John said this on the live panel verbatim. One of the statue guys said, "Hey, were those the production ones?" And John interrupted him and said, "Those 3 Jokers were pulled off the assembly line and brought here."
Oh, okay.
And then later I got clarification. The Pennywise and the Batman and the Bruce Wayne are still prototypes.
Okay.
And the Gandalf is the production sample that that the factory made as, "Hey, is this good? Will you approve this? We'll make the rest."
Okay.
Okay. So
that's what they all were.
Okay. So Joker's basically done. Like what we see.
It's done.
What we're
Yeah, they
getting.
already made 2,000 units.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's good and bad. They made 2,000 pretty fast.
Yeah.
I bet you what they did was, I'm telling you, my theory is that they made a certain amount. They waited for the pre-orders to come in, and then they made the rest, because then that would keep them on schedule.
That is how Queen does stuff with their statues. They usually, which is what annoys people sometimes, they do them in batches. So they'll do a certain amount of them, and then after those are out,
it keeps them from falling behind. Like if you say, "Hey, well, we expect," like maybe with Joker, they're like, "Maybe we'll get, like 1,000." So they went ahead and they pre-made 1,000, and then when they went with the pre-orders, they're like, "Well, look, we just got another 1,500 orders. We can now we have plenty of time to make the other half of it," which would make sense. With it coming, like they said, by December. So like how I was saying in the beginning when we first heard about this, like what they probably did was that they made a certain batch, waited for pre-orders to come in, and say, "All right, look, we made this much. We have to cover this much now, but we have time because we already planned ahead," which is smart.
I don't like that, Bruce. I do not like that, Bruce Wayne. If I can put it for because obviously there aren't many Bruce Wayne look, of any kind of media right now. You've got this, and I think you got
there's 2
J&D
third-party
statues.
ones I know of.
Well, I'm just talking in general. There's also like the J&D
officially licensed
statue. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of this look to him for all of the Batman. There's every scale imaginable's got multiple versions of him. If this is the only other, because I kind of J&D and for statue J&D and Queen are kind of the ones I compare next to each other because they're probably the best at movie likeness or real likeness and stuff with their sculpt usually for statue or bigger scale. I still think Hot Toys, them are the ones we normally I think associate along collectibles like 1/6 and bigger where we compare them. I think this in comparison to the J&D, now obviously very different price point, but the J&D facial sculpt for that Bruce Wayne statue I think crushes this one the way this one looks right now, where it's soft in the face.
Yeah, it needs to be looked at, and I think they probably are hearing all the feedback and seeing the comments and such, and they're probably going to go back to the drawing board on this.
I expect it to look better. I think I never expected an art figure to look terrible or something.
No,
like that.
Yeah, because it's about a 5 out of 10 for me. I'll be honest with you, and that's coming from someone who's already paid for it. In terms of the sculpt, I'm not talking about the tailoring and such. I'm just saying the sculpt for me is like a 5 out of 10, and that's
the paint apps too.
Right. I'm very disappointed. Flat. That's why I'm giving it such a low scores, because I was so excited for this figure, and I'm very disappointed.
I am learning a lot about you guys today. You guys are so stinking picky.
Hey, if I'm gonna be giving you like $500 for a figure, I'm gonna be damn picky.
I know.
I think I've been pretty.
When I get when I used to collect, the Prime 1 statues, I was hella picky because I'm dropping anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000.
So you must have loved seeing that Dark Detective Batman statue that's a quarter scale that's going to cost $1,700.
No, like I told you a couple months
$1,700.
ago. Yeah, I told you a couple months ago, Lane. I'm done with the big boy statues. They keep pumping out these pre-orders, but they're not releasing anything, and all they keep saying is delay, 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 delay. So I was like, you know what?
Oh, I know. I'm just talking about the price. I talked about the price point for that quarter scale.
Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, you're out of your mind. Like Prime One and all them, they're starting to ask for way too much money, and then like even if you do pre-order, they like to send you these emails while you're waiting and say, hey. Shipping's gone up, so we're gonna have to charge you an extra $100-$200. And like I got that email 3 times waiting on that Justice Buster.
Oh gee, I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see what
3 different times saying that shipping has gone up on it. And I was like, you know what? First you were gonna charge me like $2,400 when all said and done. Now we're getting close to $3,000. Nah, I'm good. Plus, you delayed it too many times.
I'm just looking forward to when we get to see Oilers someday when he's going to be using a crane to set up his life-size Hulkbuster statue.
Right. Yeah, with that $50,000 I got laying around.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Oilers could make one, man. I bet you could make one.
That'd be a big project. Even for Oilers.
I ideally fell out of my seat when I saw the quarter scale Hulkbuster. Like, seeing the Queen statue of that. This
Oilers
Batman,
should make one where you can actually crawl into, and then you can charge like $75,000. Like, you want this? It's a one.
Go hit up the hacksmith, have
one.
him make you one.
Oh yeah, that dude makes some cool stuff.
Do you guys? Is it just me? The one thing I've had with this Inart Batman, I don't know why, but maybe it's more the direction of some of the pictures and stuff. But the front part of his mask on that face feels a little weird and off to me how it looks. Even if I comparison and look at it like some of the Hot Toys ones, like it's not my favorite absolute look. I prefer like the Dark Knight Rises or something.
Oh, you're just saying in general, not the Inart figure, just like the design.
This Inart, no, I mean this Inart figure just kind of with the mask. I don't know why.
I didn't have that impression myself.
To me, it feels a little weird
wide.
to me.
See, for me,
the nose is a little wide on the mask.
For me, it's like
I like the definition of the eyes though.
The eyes look good. Eyes look good for sure. And if they look that good in photos where they're under like not the best lighting, they look good.
You can see the light actually reflecting off his right eye. That's really good. Shows you that they're got a nice shine to it.
I mean, it's like again, from what I'm seeing, I'm pretty impressed by a lot of the things they've done here. Now, and we're going to talk about here shortly some of the things that I'm not so happy about, but in terms of the product, product themselves,
I'm leaving.
No, I mean, in terms of the products themselves, I am overall impressed from what I can see. I think the Joker is an absolute home run in terms visually, and visually, I think it's a home run. Like it's the best iteration in 6 scale of the Heath Ledger Joker that we've had thus far, and I don't think anyone can dispute that. I mean, what we have, even third-party figures and the older DX Hot Toys figure, obviously, there's nothing that compares to it. And that's the one that excites me the most because it's one that got me interested into this company because that's a big hole in my collection right now is the Heath Ledger Joker. So to see that they've, from what we could see, kind of lived up to the prototype photos that we originally saw, it definitely is exciting. The thing that worries me about Inart as a whole is kind of, and I guess the best way to put it is the community is kind of taking this as, okay, now we have to separate collectors and put them as, here's the collectors that like Inart and here are the collectors that like Hot Toys and here are the collectors that buy Hot Toys and buy Inart, and it's almost like people are turning Inart into like this elitist thing that they're not intending it to be. I don't think this company is trying to make themselves an elitist thing. They're just saying, hey, we want to try to offer you something different that's a bit more accurate, a bit higher quality. We're trying different things. And it's like, I'm not speaking for everyone, but there are some people in the community that are interested in these Inart figures and all of their products, and they're turning it into this like Hot Toys versus Inart thing, where if you don't buy Inart, then you're not a real collector. Or if you don't buy Inart, you don't have the money to afford it. Or if you don't buy Inart, you're blind because you don't see the true quality of the Inart figures. And it's like, that's not the case. Because then you have people like me people like Cigars, people like Lane, people like Oilers, some people in the chat who buy both. And at the end of the day, that's how it should be. It should be, oh, I think this looks good. I think Inart did a good job. I'm going to buy this figure. I'm going to spend my money on this figure because I like what they did here. Or, oh, I like what Hot Toys did here. I'm going to spend my money on that. That's how it should be. And it's becoming this frankly, it's becoming this toxic thing. And it's been going on ever since Inart first became a thing, but especially even now.
I hate to think if J&D finally starts making 6 scales figures like they were saying last year, they might have a next year be trying to actually get into that, or maybe quarter scale.
I ain't
like
gonna
when
pay
people start doing
$1,000.
No, I know. I'm just starting to say I'm worried. Like, if how
Right.
could that even happen? But I mean, I can see where it's happening a little bit because Queen itself, Queen Studios, with their statues, is considered a quote higher end and sort of maybe elitist kind of statue company. So I could see where that could maybe that even though Inart obviously is backed by them, somewhat connected, is still its kind of own, whether you want to call it a spin-off company or whatever, it's kind of its own thing.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
And people are basing Queen Studios' reputation as if it's Inart's rep, and it's not. It's a brand new company that is basically partnered with Queen Studios and being backed by them.
Like Blitzway works with. I look at it more like
Blitzway working with Prime One, like
and
collaboration.
They do. Obviously, there may be more joined than they were a few years ago because they work a lot together. But Blitzway still puts out its own stuff here. Like they've got that. I'll use an example: that Hellboy Golden Army statue they're putting out. Like that's them. But
Anthony, that's my problem too, man. I buy everything.
You are,
pretty
if
much.
You bring me a good figure and I like it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy it. I don't care what company it is. I buy third party. I buy Hot Toys. I buy Sideshow. I pre-order Inart. I got Iconiq stuff, present toys. I mean, if the figure or what you're producing is good, you're gonna get my money. That's the bottom line. Like this weird attitude that out of nowhere, where people are jumping on the bandwagon and stating that like Inart is the new king and all that. That's not fair because you're just going off of what you've seen, nothing in hand. And it's funny because we go back 3 weeks ago, everybody was riding Hot Toys, no problem. Then all of a sudden, what happened? Everybody jumped ship and they're saying, "Oh, Hot Toys is done." 3 weeks ago, you were praising Hot Toys about how great they were and how awesome they were and how they're still king.
Just because
3 weeks, and all of a sudden, everybody's treating Hot Toys like Marvel Legends.
Yeah, you get.
I'm just waiting for Hot Toys to drop something really awesome, and those same people to be like, "Oh, Hot Toys is king." Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
like dinosaurs.
Yeah. Oh, Euler, did you like that T-Rex statue that they showed from Jurassic Park?
Look at that.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
I thought that
was
was
really
actually really cool. No one really
think
paid
the Prime
attention
1
to
Jurassic
it,
series.
It scales with the Hammond collection, actually, which was what I was just holding up.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Dude, you got to make a diorama of a bunch of dinosaurs with like some library.
Well, I have some
stuff.
ideas. I want to make this into a steampunk Parasaurolophus with a monocle top hat.
Oh,
wow, that just went right over my head. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Oilers is really good at steampunk stuff, man.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Since I helped get us off track a little bit here, Euler, was there anything about the Batman figure? I think if I remember correctly, you said, I think this may be the greatest figure I ever saw, or that might have been Denobi who said that.
No, that was Oilers.
That was definitely not Denobi.
Yeah,
that was me.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So, Euler, that being said, was there anything about the figure that you had any concern, or was a little bit like
Good question.
Was there? I know you said it was perfect. So, but perfection is a thing that's ever growing, expanding, and its definition is always nebulous.
Nope. I have no complaints with this figure at all. I have nothing to point. I mean, as a diorama guy, I would be like, the only thing that can make this better is like a legit diorama, which I already have been for the last several weeks on my computer in Rhinoceros 3D building a diorama for him, because when I get him, I am going to do a build video for the diorama that I'm making for him for my channel.
Does he come with? Does he? I know it's part of the movie, but it's the one part that made me say I don't need to get the less Hot Toy version. Does this one come with the big stupid flying?
Oh, the wingsuit? I don't think it does.
No,
it?
It doesn't.
Please, I was gonna say good because that.
Dude, that was. Are you kidding me? That was hilarious.
I don't know
It's
why
no,
you would
but
need
I-
that. Like, who's going to display that?
No, I would
Yeah.
never, but it's funny to have it, right? Because it's like him
no.
Sugar
testing his
glider
gadgets.
That
right?
made me. I saw him up on the hot toy, like in the preview picture for that. I said, absolutely, I
never.
don't need. I said, absolutely, I don't need that.
Well, it's like
version.
no one poses Spider-Man with his like little glider suit portion either. But I just
If
wanted
you
to say
like
what's
it
up to
because you
Jedi's
like
Nice
having the
Watch.
accessories,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's what I
Yeah.
was saying at the beginning. Like having the more accessories makes you want the thing more sometimes.
Oh,
but
absolutely. It absolutely.
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
practically no one displaying it with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unless
if that
somebody's
would
like
not be
a hardcore
the factor
fan and they're
between which
buying
one to
like
buy.
Yeah, that's
could
true.
see
It's
that,
more
but
like a
that's it.
want, not a need, you know. Jedi, I just want to say, Jedi Night's Watch, it's good to see you in here, man. I hope you're doing
Yeah,
well.
thank you.
Jedi Night's Watch these are words to live by, words of wisdom. Buy what you love and let others do the same. So
Good luck with that.
yeah, and going off with that, it's like whatever I like, you don't have to like. Whatever I don't like, you can still like, you know. And
The
that's
way
with everything.
to dismantle all of that.
Matt nailed it.
It's your
perfectly.
money, man. Don't let anybody tell you how to spend your money.
Yeah.
The
I'm
way
sorry.
to dismantle
Matt's
all
comment
that
nailed it
is
perfectly.
just to ask yourself, why are they making that comment?
Yeah,
What is the actual motivation behind a comment like that?
right.
It's either to put someone else down, to
Mhm.
make themselves look better, or to make themselves feel less insecure about something that they personally have an insecurity about that has nothing to do with your choices.
Yeah,
So typically it's coming from a place of insecurity or immaturity when people are like that. And that can come in all ages. Everyone has different experiences at different points in their life, whether you're 15 or you're 60. We all have different things to refine about ourselves. But I'm getting to the point where I'm like, if you don't feed the drama beast won't exist.
yeah. That's definitely true in certain ways. But you know, we like
Like
to
your
feed
parents
it
tell
every
you,
once in a
there's
while.
no monster under the bed.
Yeah,
As long as
Yeah.
you believe there's no monster under the bed, there's no monster under the bed.
If there's a monster under the bed, preemptively scare it. Jump under the bed and go boo, and you'll see there's no
Yep.
monster, and you'll feel confident. I did that as a
Yep.
kid.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I'm glad-
That's what my
glad a
dad
lot
used
of
to
people
say. He
are
said,
in
if
agreement.
you're scared of monsters, then make the first move. 'Cause I used to be, when I was little, I used to be scared of my closet. Like it just used to get weird vibes in the dark. So I'd go running into the closet and be like, ah! And then turn on the light. Like, yeah, see, there's nothing to be scared of.
Yes, and as Insane One says, don't take your likes with you. Leave it here and take a subscription while you're at it to Hot Toys Hotline and this killer panel. Yes, so everybody else on the panel, definitely check their channel out as well. Once again, guys, Euler is going to be doing a more in-depth video on his thoughts of the whole Inart event and everything that he saw there. So definitely, if you're not subscribed already, head over to Euler's channel and check that out because I'm definitely really excited myself to see that video. Euler's has a piece of paper here. Oh,
I looked up all of their licenses they already own to give them suggestions for action figures that they may never have thought of.
There better be a lot of Harry Potter on there.
Nope, I don't care about Harry Potter.
Wow. Okay, we're taking Euler's off the solo layout.
I chose
gone.
not to talk
gone.
about the ones that were obvious because those are
Okay.
obvious.
I guess
So
Harry Potter is pretty obvious because they're
I'm
probably
talking
going to
about
pump
things
those
like
out.
Book of Eli and Blade Runner 2049 and
Ooh.
Warcraft,
Book of Eli would
and
be
Clockwork Orange and
Clockwork
Beowulf,
Orange, I agree with.
stuff like that.
Beowulf?
cool with
Yeah,
Clockwork
that would
Orange.
be cool though.
They have the Beowulf from Legendary under their license.
I didn't know that. That's
They have a
cool.
relationship with Legendary, and they could make those figures. So.
That would be cool. That definitely would be
Who would
cool.
get Beowulf versus Grendel? Yeah.
I think they sell like 10 of them though.
I found a license they have that they probably will never make these figures, but I would pay tens of thousands of dollars for these. Never-ending story.
Oh my lord, the
Can
dog.
you imagine if they did a Falcor, like a Falcor, not even 6 scale, even if it's a little bit smaller scale, just for how big he is?
Give me an
I
Atreyu,
can
an
make
Artax, and a childlike
story.
No,
Empress,
no.
and I'm good.
If we get a Trey and Artax, can we get a diorama base of the Swamp of Sorrows?
Of the what?
The Swamp of Sorrows, so we can
Yeah.
relive like
So
the
every
saddest
adult
scene
can
of our
relive-
our entire like
Great. So
childhood.
that means like all of us who grew up watching that movie, every time we walk by that, we're gonna cry like, no, not the scene again.
Right.
Yeah,
Poor
no.
horse.
Dude, that would be cool. Childlike Empress,
These
Childlike
heads in the-
Empress, Bastion, Atreyu,
Bastion.
and Artax.
Oh, geez, dude, that would be. Oh man, that would be so. Somebody, that would be. Oilers, start making it so, sir.
I'm going to
These are
be
like-
talking about these in my video, and it's like these are kind of Hail Marys, but it's like I know you don't have the global American license yet, and the Chinese market could care less about this, but if you made these for American collectors, there's so many of us in that right age pocket where we
got money
we'd
and
buy
we
these.
remember it.
We'd buy these.
Yeah, Oilers is putting down Harry Potter fans. It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart.
Navigator. That's what I want. Can we get that? 1/6 Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, that would be cool. Jedi Knights Watch says these Inart figures are a little too priced for me, but damn, they look good. Hoping they deliver. Me too, dude. And I think a lot of us that are level-headed, we don't wish the company to fail. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, more options for collectors, more good options, not more star races. We don't want more star races, but more good options are good for collectors. You have more options. You know.
Exactly.
We don't need any.
As long as the company delivers, you know, and isn't being shady to its customers, then
yeah,
I'm all for it. You know,
less.
You know, more competition.
Hey, what's up, David?
Is
hey, David, how's it going? Shout out from Reno, Nevada.
I'll be at the toy swap at Sparks High School in December if you're going to be there.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I like.
Oh, here's a question from Don.
Idea, but I also don't want it to turn into like an all-out battle of who can do the better figure.
Right, and yeah, so that's kind of goes along with what we were saying earlier. I want to see Inart start tapping into these licenses that Oilers talking about, like stuff that we haven't seen before, and we know that 3.0 and Hot Toys and stuff they're never going to touch because, and this might be just the infancy stage of the company. This like kind of like back and forth, or oh look at our Batman, oh look at our Joker, you know what I mean? This might just be the infancy stage of the company where they're like, we got the license, we might as well make these figures, and that's cool. I understand it, and some of them I'm buying, you know, but. That's what I'm really excited for is when Inart starts going, okay, all these, like they did the poll of like 10 different lists of all these different figures that people asking people what they want. When they start tapping into those lists, that's when Inart's going to be my best friend. If they do those lists, the Terminators, the more RoboCop stuff, Predator, like Don's asking about Predator here. He said they were going to speak to Fox about Predator.
Yeah.
Right.
Give me Dutch, Dylan, Mac, Doc, Billy. I'm forgetting somebody. I know I'm forgetting somebody.
Well,
but
can't you really look at, I think, with Inarts and Hot Toys, where they're both going to be, I mean, they're still for 6 scale or figures and stuff, probably going to be the 2 most expensive games and highest end in the town, whichever one. I look at Inarts doing more scaled back certain figures, maybe a little bit more expensive. And stuff. Maybe they're, and I put in quotes better. I'm putting in quotes better. They might have some different things because they're making less stuff, so they can put more time into them. Hot Toys, I'm looking, can be, you know, okay, maybe one's an A+ and one's an A or an A- on stuff kind of thing. So they're not going to be trash. One's not going to be great. One's trash. But Hot Toys feels like something who, because they've been in the game for a longer period of time, they will do characters for properties and stuff where we would not necessarily get from Inarts. And I use an example like Grand Inquisitor and Reba. I could see maybe Inart someday over the rainbow doing a Darth Vader, but I could never see him doing those kind of characters.
Inart will never get Star Wars.
I'm just using that as an example. I don't mean they would do Star Wars, but I'm saying type of character.
Sideshow and Hot Toys have that license.
Yeah, they've got a force choke grip.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying type of characters. Main characters, more limited numbers. Inarts does those. Maybe they were slightly better.
Inart starting.
Hot Toys does other characters that they would never touch. They can do more of them. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Don makes a good point. You got to respect their hustle. Yeah, as long as they're going about it the right way, you got to respect what they're doing. And again, I think for a lot of people, in terms of what they showed at the event, they kind of changed some people's minds, you know, and the real test will be, and I believe it was Matt mentioned in the comments, and I'm sorry I missed your comment. I'm trying to go through the comments, guys, but we're having some juicy discussion here. But Matt said he wants to see at least 3 figures in hand before he decides to support the company. For me, it's really going to ride on the Joker release. I'm not going to be too picky about it. If the Joker 2-pack is good, I'm going to be like, okay. Because I know Inart is going to do stuff that I want. I know they are. They're doing Harry Potter. I know Oilers is crapping on Harry Potter, but from like me and Chris, like we love Harry Potter. I've been dying for Harry Potter figures for so long. Yeah,
you're a figure, Harry.
You're a figure. Yeah, I guess I am a bit of a nerd if I like Harry Potter, but yeah. So I've been dying for Harry Potter figures and a lot of these other IPs that we're seeing Inart acquire, and it's like that stuff excites me. So I want them to do well. I want them to deliver on these products because I know that Hot Toys' main focus is always going to be Star Wars, Marvel, and DC, and then they're going to throw us a breadcrumb here and there with like RoboCop and other things like that. Apart from that, they're not going to focus on these legacy characters like we expect. You know, they can't because they have contractual obligations with Disney to put out figures for all these shows, all these new movies. So because of that, that's where Inart can kind of slide in and be like, all right, let's fill that niche. You guys aren't getting these figures. We have them for you. We can do this for you, you know? And that's what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah, going back to what Lane said, you know, with the whole Star Wars thing, the closest that any other company would probably get is like Spaceballs. But I would buy into that.
Dude,
I'd be
that
all
would be
for it.
awesome.
I'd be all for it.
It's on my list.
Yogurt, man. Yogurt.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, need
Dude,
the Schwartz
that would be the
amount.
best.
Yeah.
Do it.
The stormtroopers in the desert. You find anything? Man, we ain't find shit.
I think this one's for Oilers. David said, awesome. Would love to join you. How do I get involved? I have a ton of stuff I could bring.
David Lynchen, go to the Facebook Reno Pop Hunters group. Reno, what is it? Facebook Reno Pop Hunters group, and just join. And they post every month. They have a toy swap at one of two high schools.
There you go.
Sounds
David
cool,
also said
man.
subscribe. Thank you, David. I really appreciate it. Great to have you with us tonight. Zombie says, one line that would make me buy from Inart would be Pirates of the Caribbean. I'd instantly buy a Jack Sparrow from the second or third film, maybe the first. Need a really good Davy Jones and Barbossa as well. I feel like that's another one. I feel like I would agree with you totally, by the way. I would absolutely love those figures, but I feel like that's another one Hot Toys is going to kind of entice Disney. If there's going to be some more merchandise coming out for Pirates of the Caribbean, I feel like Hot Toys is going to snatch that up because they have such a big relationship with Disney.
Mhm.
I feel like all the Disney stuff is kind of stuck with Hot Toys, but
Yeah, pretty much. They've and
yeah.
Sideshow, like they've solidified
Yeah.
themselves.
What if
Which
Inart
is
They
cool
have,
with me.
They have
but-
a partnership that I don't think is ever gonna
What if
Right.
Inart
go
was
away.
able to
Like
do
it's a really tight
maybe?
partnership.
What if Inarts could eventually maybe make, if maybe not right away, but maybe in a couple of years if the show still takes off, think about some characters from maybe House of the Dragon because they got a unique look and everything too. Some of
That'd
the
be
royal
cool.
family, the
Now you're
Targaryens and stuff. That might be like just something they might.
Yeah, I
do
mean,
with their brothers.
now I'm watching House of the Dragon. I'm like, dude, 3-0 or somebody. Give me like a Damon figure, bro. Like, I love that character
Yeah.
so much.
Yes.
That's what I'm really hoping
I mean,
for.
no offense to
Ali and I
3-0, but I mean, I'd rather give it to a different company.
for. Oilers,
Their Game of Thrones figures are hit or miss.
are you showing us your fancy merch? Did you
Gotta-
get one of the shirts and
gotta
everything?
tell
I'm
my
too
inner
deep in
six-scale
Game of
mafia
Thrones
here.
now to give them up.
Oh, I guess you got they did like a prize or like a pack of stuff for content creators, right? Did you get all that stuff like the Queen Studios shirt and everything?
It
I'm
was just
assuming.
a hat and a shirt with their branding.
Oh, that's
on
it.
And but
No Inart stuff.
I don't mean this as an insult or anything, but I think they were like made in Asia because my wife got me a triple XL and it is crazy tight on me.
Well, we are pretty fat as Americans, so that's probably why. There's
That's
probably a-
Asian size.
Big head
Yeah.
Americans,
Oh, no.
man, and not for too much big ideas or too much.
Yeah, Andrew said perfect time for Hagrid. I don't know, dude. I think that's too soon for a Hagrid. Although I would love a Hagrid figure, dude. If Inart does Hagrid, you know they're gonna do that beard justice for sure, and the hair.
Yeah.
The scooter. He's got to come with the motorcycle with the sidecar, though.
Dude, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing. I'd
Awesome.
buy that
If
so
they did,
fast.
If they did Hagrid with the bike, I'd get that. 'Cause
I'd
Hagrid
buy it
was
so
cool.
fast, dude. Beard Dad Life said, "No, you're not. Star Ace was a massive letdown. They were, dude. So I'll tell you this. We often talk about. I don't like to judge figures before I have them in hand. Star Ace, I don't care. I don't need to have it in hand. It looks bad in the prototype photos. I'm sure you guys saw their recent Rocky figure. It's horrible. He literally
Doesn't even
looks.
look like Rocky.
His face looks like it's
man.
melting.
Yeah.
We've had Star Failure and Home Butter in the last things for prototypes or stuff put out. That, I mean, Oilers looks more like Homelander than that figure does.
Okay. We have
It's
a
the
question here
question
for
I wanna-
Oilers.
Yeah.
So Oilers, Eric is asking, is the quality that much better that it's worth $200 or $500 if it's a 2-pack more than what Hot Toys is delivering?
I don't have. I've never handled the Pennywise, so I can't speak to the Pennywise. But I do feel
That's
like
fair.
looking at it, I feel like the Pennywise I guess the only way to answer this is to go by each figure. I don't think I can give you an overall because
That's
I do have
fair.
a different opinion of each figure.
That's fair.
So the Pennywise, the fineness in the scaled wrinkles in the fabric was pretty unbelievable. I was like, even the wrinkles look scaled down, and the detail in the head and the hair, I was blown. Like, I do not watch or collect horror, and I just looked at this. I'm like, I kind of felt similar to my reaction to Hot Toys Riva. I didn't want the character, but once I saw the figure, I'm like, that is really beautifully made.
Yeah,
I feel the same way about this It.
Look at that
So,
mouth, dude.
and seeing other people's pictures of that, I do think this is definitely worth more. How much more is really up to you. Definitely worth easily 20 to 25% more, if not more, depending on how you personally feel about it.
Yeah.
The Gandalf, I don't think is worth $500. I'll just be honest with you. I do think it's nice, but I do have some nitpicks about it. I think 400 to 425 would have been more appropriate for Gandalf. The Jokers, because of all the stuff you're getting, the jail and the machine gun and all that stuff, I think $1,000 is a lot, but if you really love that character, it's worth it. The only thing that would change my mind is if they overproduce these and you could get them for like $850 later, the 2-packs. That would make me be kind of disappointed quantitatively, but I think the value is there. If you are that big of a fan of Heath Ledger Joker, yes, it's worth it. The Bruce Wayne, no comment because it's still being worked on, but the Batman, if you're going to get the sculpted hair, I do think it's worth it. I think on Spec Fiction it's like $419
considerably cheaper,
for the sculpted. I do think it's worth it because of how insanely finely detailed every little edge is. To me, when you scale down something and you look at how the seams intersect and how the molding is not overly rounded where there's a curve or a fillet of an edge, like it's sharp, like all those little details are sharp. Even the sew lines are sharp and small. And that's why I was so impressed by that figure. I didn't look at it and go, that was done on a life-size sewing machine. It looks like it was done on a 1/6 scale sewing machine because it was just done so fine.
Right.
And so to me, the Joker, if you're that big of a fan of it, the 2-pack, it's worth it. The Batman, it's worth it for the sculpted. I went ahead with the rooted because I just like the way he looks with that hair. But if you're not worried about the hair, I do think the sculpted is worth it. So that's kind of my overall on each figure. So.
Well said. I mean, generally speaking, I think a lot of it has to do with what you're willing to spend. You know, if you're seeing this and you're like, oh, well, to me, that looks better than the Hot Toys, then how much better does it look to you? Like, if you're like, oh, an extra $150, $200, I'm willing to pay that for something better, then more power to you. Like I said, for me, I used my personal example earlier. To me, looking at the rooted hair and looking at the sculpted hair, it doesn't change the figure enough for me to where I'm like, okay, I need that. The rooted hair absolutely does look better, especially on the Joker. It looks better. It looks almost identical to Heath Ledger off of the screen. You know,
I have one more thing I'll say about it is the materials wise.
Sure.
The perspective I'm coming from is I'm a big fan of film special effects, and with that comes this sort of concept of whenever I'm making something or buying something that is representative of something in a film or a video game or whatever, the closer to the real thing it can be, even just materials wise, the better it is in my mind. And so when I make steampunk armor or cosplay props, I like to use real steel and leather. While I enjoy watching all the cosplayers that make foam armor and painting it to look like metal, I think that's an incredible skill. I would rather learn how to make armor out of steel and make the thing out of steel instead of emulate steel. And for me, Inart so far is sort of making the thing out of steel. They're using the real materials where possible. So that for me is why they're definitely worth more. How much more though is up to you.
Yeah. Well said.
Yep.
I will say though, it's like the attention to detail with the clothing is noted. I mean, even down to like the purple overcoat on the Joker where there's magnets in the lapel so it stays flat. You guys know with stuff like that, it could be a pain in the butt. Like, perfect example, the Hot Toys Lando, if they had magnets in that collar, it would make a night and day difference, you know? So stuff like that, I think, is very clever, and I'm glad to see some little innovative touches here and there like that. But Chris, I think you had something to say.
It was just about pretty much for me, like you said, it's for you. Everybody's different, and that's why you collect specifically for you and not anybody else. It's if you love that character enough, I'm sure you'll want to spend enough to have the best of the best of your favorite version of whatever it is you're searching for. So for me, I haven't I like the Joker, but I don't love him like $1,000 or $400 that much.
Right.
And Hot Toys is going up in price, and maybe they'll get there. They said they were going to be competitive, but now it is almost in that competitive, market or whatever. But at the end of the day, like Euler said, it's also not just how the figure looks or the rooted hair. It's that material, that actual metal and the wood and stuff like that. And a collector like me loves that. I love the, for a Michael Myers, an actual knife and not the plastic simulate,
Right, like a die-cast knife,
like actual realism. And it's actually partially why I got into the hobby. So it's all a perspective. All of it is. And
right.
You just take it for what it is.
And again, it goes along with what we were saying earlier. You kind of buy what interests you, and don't feel sorry for it. If you like it, that's all that matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Don't feel guilty to buy Hot Toys. Don't feel guilty to buy Inart, 3-0, whatever. Ash Williams, perfect example. Is this figure a shining example of a great 6-scale figure? Hell no. When I opened it up, I found quite a few issues. But, I love the character. I do love the diorama that it comes with. So I made that decision then. You're like, I'm keeping it. I know a lot of people hate it, but what I did was, and this might work for a lot of you guys, put it in your display for a day, maybe even for a week while you're still in your return window, and just see if you enjoy owning it, And for me, after a day, I was like, damn, that's cool. I'm going to keep it, And sometimes you have
two things behind me that I feel that way about.
Oh, yeah?
This Batman, I love this thing to death. Like, I love it. And I know a lot of collectors who got this Sideshow Modern Age Batman. It was the black and gray version. I hated the way that looked because it didn't show any of the detail in his suit. And I've always loved the blue, yellow, and gray suit. And they did it in that color. And I know people who hate this and think it's stupid and it's a goofy version of Batman. It's my favorite. I don't think those people are wrong. I think that's just what they like. And I think this is what I like. This is what I connected. This color scheme is what I remember most from my childhood. And that's why I love this Batman. And I think artistically, it's amazing sculpt. Also,
I wanted that one, but
I've got
they didn't have it, so I
Mandalorian armor right here. I've heard all of you guys, most of you guys, for a long time saying this was a disappointment. I vehemently disagree with all of you.
I agree with
single
you.
One of your points, everyone that's ever made, I'm like, what are you talking about?
But
I never say anything because I'm just like, that's how they feel,
Lane has heard me say it. Lane has heard me say it. I've defended the armor so many times. I think
don't know
it's
what
a
anybody's
great
talking about when they talk about discipline. Like, what? It's so great. Everything about it's great. What's the problem? Just because I didn't have a double jointed elbow, who cares?
Yeah, I mean that was
my biggest gripe was I wanted the smelter. I wanted her to come with.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
That
would
was
have been
my
like
biggest
icing on the cake. I agree because that's like her whole point in the show is she's the armor. But yeah, generally speaking, I agree with you on that one, Oilers. Yeah, the armor is a figure that I actually really enjoy owning, and I find myself often looking over at that figure, and I'm like, this is a nice figure. Like, yeah, there's screws in the bottom of the feet, but I'm not lifting up the feet and saying, oh man, there's screws there. I almost forgot.
If you're concerned about screws in the bottom of the feet, then Inart is the company for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're the ones who are going to pay attention to something you're never going to look at.
Right.
Hot Toys are going to be like, you're never going to look at that, so we'll put screws there. Right.
That's one thing I didn't understand why people complained about screws on the bottom, because nobody's looking at the bottom of the feet unless you have the character in a pose to where the bottom sole is being where it's visible.
Right.
My gripe with the armor was just that, like, some of the material felt cheap, like third-party material and whatnot with the armor. Like, it wasn't a big letdown. I was just disappointed. And
it felt like a hurried figure.
Yeah, that's what it was. For it being a Toy Fair exclusive, I was expecting them to like knock it out of the park, which they did. But at the same time, it was still a disappointment to me because of like what we were shown and I guess it was more of the expectation on my end. Like I was really hyped for the figure. I
Yeah,
thought,
and
it was going to be super badass. And then when I got it, I was like, it was a lot of nitpicking. Like, oh, this isn't really what I wanted. But I still got the figure. I still appreciate it.
And like Euler said, it's like some people see things differently, and totally accurately described, a lot of people hate that figure.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever said I disagree with pretty much everybody on that, to be honest, because I'm like, they don't like it, they don't like it. I don't know why they don't like it, but they don't like it.
Yeah, and I'm, like I said, I was right there with you. I love that figure. I totally enjoy it, and I know a lot of people quickly sold that figure, and I'm like, hey, I'm keeping mine, because it's, especially after this next season, that's going to be a huge hole in your collection. If you're a fan of the Mandalorian, you collect the Mandalorian stuff, and you don't have it, she's going to have a huge role, and they may or may not do another figure. We can't always assume that they're going to do another because that's not really a main character. That's more of like a B tier character, a C tier character, even,
She's a support cast.
Exactly. So it's like there's no guarantee they're going to do another armor. So if she really pops off in this next season and you don't have her, that's when people are going to start appreciating. Yeah, and you're going to regret it. People are going to start appreciating that figure a lot more then. But
I wish I would have got that Batman statue Oilers got, but I missed out when they dropped that colorway, so I had to get the black and gray. But then when I decided it was time to minimize my statues, I got rid of basically all my Marvel Sideshow, all my Sideshow DC, and then all my Prime 1. Like now for statues, I'm just focusing on Star Wars statues. That's it. Because I was spreading myself way too damn thin.
Yeah, he's going to enable you now. He's pulling it out.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, I want to say what's up to a couple people.
I was spread too thin with the statue game, man. I had 14 Prime 1s on pre-order. I had 3 Queen Studios. I had like 6 Sideshow. Like I was just stretched too thin. I was like, no, I gotta focus.
There you go. You want to be
that
enabled?
That is a big freaking Batman.
Look at those thighs. Those are some powerful thighs.
T-Rock would be jealous right now.
He would. That's a cool sculpt, man. I dig that. That's
if
real.
I would have had that colorway, nice. I would have definitely kept that Batman statue. Out of all the Marvel and DC statues I had, I would have been like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep this one, and this would be my Batman.
I mean, I agree. That is a much cooler colorway than like a black and white.
And he's right. The black and gray one is so dark in the suit that you don't see half the details.
In the black and gray paint job, they airbrushed in all these crevices and like in here, and you can't see all the detail. And as soon as I saw that, I remember looking at the statue going, that's really cool, but it's painted too dark. And then they did this, and I'm like, I'm getting it. And this whole belt is like ultra steampunk Batman belt.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And it stands out better because the black and gray one, you see the gold definitively.
Yeah, look at that crotch.
But this one is the one I wish I would have got. It's all right.
It ain't no throbbing.
Well, if we're it's not throbbing. That's true. That was actually on the $20 code thing from Sideshow the other day.
I'm excited to get those, man. I still gotta order them,
so for showing stuff, about 5 minutes before we went live.
Oh, here we go.
This all showed up on.
Holy shnikes! What is that?
Yeah, so that right there is Cable from Hot Toys and the Bat Pod, which of course I had ordered right before they made it like $5 to ship the Bat Pod.
Look at that!
That's just lame timing right there.
Yeah, so that is Prime 1 statue to the left there. That is the Advanced Suit Batman, which is Cigars and Bacon was talking about the Justice Buster. Mm-hmm. This is the Batman that you could buy separately. It's just the Batman. Cool. The only thing this guy is not going to have, which I wish that he was going to come with, is you just got a close up of my non-shaving that I did today.
He's growing his beard, guys. I told you.
Grow your beard out. Do it.
The Batman that comes with the Just Buster, I think at least there was a pre-order version of it, which maybe Cigars and Bacon might be able to speak to. The Batman statue, which you can put like right next to in front of the Justice Buster. That's a deluxe version. It's like $3,000 or whatever. This Batman, it came with an alternate handpiece where you can stick in where he's holding a kryptonite spear for Superman. Very cool. But that doesn't come with this one. But this guy is apparently already almost sold, is low stock already. This guy, the deluxe Justice.
Get them while they're hot.
This guy, if you guys are looking for a cool Batman, a Prime 1 statue, I mean, it's like 21 inches tall, so it's not, it's a regular quarter scale.
Show height for their premium format figure.
Yeah.
So it would still fit well if you have like premium format.
It's only $6.55. It's a premium format, or not premium format. It's a statue from Prime One for $6.55.
Yeah.
It is actually a really cool Batman that has a light up feature built into it too.
That was literally the last statue they announced for pre-order before they did the price hike. Was the Justice Buster.
Yep.
Solo Batman. Because when I saw that solo Batman price, I was like, damn, $6.55 for a Prime One piece is really good. And then here comes the price hikes and the shipping price hikes.
Yeah,
it hurts. I just want to address a couple comments here. We've been letting them pile up. Mr. Mom, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you as always. Ty says Harry Potter is goated. Yes, it is. I'm glad we have some Harry Potter. Oilers kind of created a Harry Potter army in the chat. I guess that makes us big.
Come at me, bro.
I'm on your side, Oilers.
Come at me, bro.
1-6 shooter. Good to see you in here, man. He says really looking forward to their Doom figs. Yeah, I think they're probably going to do a really, really good job on that Paul Atreides. That's going to be cool.
Before, but I asked John on the panel. I said, "How many figures are you going to do from Dune?" And he looked at Jason, and they spoke in Chinese for about 2 minutes, and then he turned and he said 3 or 4.
Oh wow, 3 or 4. I did not. I'm guessing it's going to be Paul Atreides, Zendaya's character. I don't remember the name of her.
I would imagine Paul, his dad, Zendaya, maybe Duncan, because they already have the license for Momoa's likeness.
That's true.
Speaking in Chinese, saying, quick, make up something. He doesn't understand what we're saying.
Oh, I got to go in a few minutes. I'll also throw this out. I also asked them, is your goal to complete the Justice League? Since you're going to be doing Superman from Batman vs. Superman, Batman, and a Wonder Woman. And again, he looked at Jason and they talked in Chinese for like 2 minutes, and he came back and he said, kind of, I think reluctantly too, he was like, yes. Like he didn't.
So they're
really
going to do the whole
it,
Justice League. Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to see what their cyborg might look like, huh?
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. That might make me feel some type of way because I'm just about to complete my Justice League, but hey. I'm
making my ultimate Justice League. I got different.
See, I missed it.
Yeah.
The characters, but from different things.
And they have the license for the Suicide Squad 2 in 6 scale.
See, that's what I want to see. I want to see a Harley from Suicide Squad.
I asked them, they did show us
one
one panel that showed all their licenses for 6 scale, and some of them I couldn't read because they're like video games from Asia. But I just asked to clarify, like, do you have the license for Suicide Squad 2? And they said yes. And I said, if you just give us one figure from that, could you please give us Battlesuit Harley? And he's like, noted.
Yeah, that'd be one I would want too. And there,
which Harley?
I want a polka dot man
Battlesuit, the one where
really
she had the red and black leather.
Yeah, that's my favorite suit personally. I think it looks really, really good.
It looks most accurate to her original costume.
Yep.
Starro. Can I get Starro? Yeah.
1-to-1 scale.
Oilers ain't Asian built.
No, I'm not.
I was talking about the 3XL shirt.
I'm 6'1" and 280 pounds.
I can vouch for that, bro. Because like Asian. When I was in Korea, I remember just walking into stores and people like trying to pick out size and be like, "This ain't an extra large." Like, you gotta go by Asian size, man. You're probably a 4 or 5X compared to these guys.
Yeah. So 1-6 shooter. If you guys don't know,
pants for women start out at 0 or 00, I think.
Bro, that wouldn't even fit my thighs. Just saying.
It's like it's probably an arm warmer for us. Like, that's cool. Got this pair of jeans on my arm. What's up?
Right. But yeah, 6 shooter is saying the Inart clothing looks like I think it's Yunsil. I don't know the exact pronunciation, but yeah, they're a company that does very high quality 6 scale clothing. That's what they focus in, and it's very expensive. So I guess if you're someone that's used to buying that stuff, it definitely makes the Inart figures look pretty fairly priced, you know.
I was just going to say really quick, if you guys don't know Trevor, 1-6 shooter, he works with 4 Horsemen Studios, the guys that make the Mythic Legions line.
Yeah.
And he's an actual paid toy photographer in the industry, and he does great shows on like Friday or Saturday nights. I can't remember, Trevor, sorry, where he goes over the news and his thoughts with a couple of old guys, and it's cool to listen to them.
Yeah, I've caught him over on Maz's stream. He's a real cool dude. So it's awesome to see you in here, 1-6 shooter. Maybe we'll have you on one day if you're bored.
I was trying to touch on
his
comment about that competitor thing or whatever.
Right here.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is exactly what he said, especially noticing that fine detail of the clothing. It's a step up. If you want so far the closest thing we've seen to a real person shrunk down. It's Inart.
Yeah, true. And it'll be interesting to see. My question with this is like, how much is Hot Toys going to step up, especially now after this event when they're like, oh man, a lot of people are talking about Inart right now. It's like they can only step up to a certain point, obviously, because the amount of volume that they're putting out in terms of figure releases and announcements. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're
wave of Attack of the Clones.
1-6 shooters comment.
Let me see.
He's mad at you Oilers because you called him old.
Oh, I've told him
guys.
he gives me the get off my lawn vibe sometimes when he's talking about stuff.
Get off my lawn. Yeah, that's
Clint
hilarious.
Eastwood thing.
Heck yeah, we'll
off
have you
my
on one day,
lawn.
1-6 shooter. That'd be awesome. Yes, I don't think we can turn off the ads, especially on Oilers video. He's got a good algorithm going there. He made 8 cents off of us while we were just watching the stream today.
Heck yeah, man. 8 cents going straight to paying off that rooted Batman.
Yeah, dude, I'm not looking forward to that invoice, even for my my sculpted Joker 2-pack. That's gonna hurt because I think the Spec Fiction down payment was like $115, so I still got like $500 left on that bad boy. But
yeah, for the rooted Joker it was like 75, so I'm still like, oh, that's gonna be like 375 for still to pay.
Andrew said this is kind of off topic, but there's certain characters that just can't be pulled off with rooted hair. For me, it's Anakin is one of those characters. I mean, I'm sure.
That chosen one proved that whatever that figure, the third party one.
Well, that's a bad
example. That's sweet boy.
So
like,
bad.
That'd be like Asmus doing a rooted figure and saying, "Hey, check this out."
1-6 shooter said he's the oldest one. I have seen some bad rooted sculpts for Anakin, but there have been some really good ones. So it really depends on who's doing it. But
Customizers out of China who've done some really great rooted hair Anakin that make it look just like the damn movie.
Get off my property. That's what I have to say. But yeah, at this time, guys, we're gonna move on from the Inart stuff. I was gonna go through and watch Justin's videos, but I know a lot of you want to talk about some Hot Toys, and I know Oilers has stayed with us as long as he can.
Hey, what's that?
As he's showing
Little
us
tiny
something.
rooted head.
Is that supposed to be Scarlet Witch?
No,
or not Scarlet Witch.
I ordered this just out of curiosity a long time
Black
ago. I
Widow?
forgot that I had it.
Black Widow. Yeah, that's what
Off a Big Bad Toy Store.
Oh, that's not Black Widow.
No, it's from
a
I
TV
forgot what the
league?
company is.
TV league?
But it's this is 1/12 scale. So I was really curious how this flexible body would act in 1/12. It's crazy heavy too. It's got a metal internal structure like the
that's a TB League or something like that.
Yeah, that's TB League.
It's not
That's up there
TB
with
League,
them.
but it's something like them. And it's got like a ton of armor pieces and swap outs, and it was a good price. I was like, I'm curious about that, so I just got one to see what it looked like. And
a purchase like that for me was I forgot the company, and Don might know because Don's a big RoboCop fan like I am. But there's a company that's making a die-cast RoboCop, and sorry, what was it? Hiya Toys. I think you're right. I think it might be Hiya Toys, and that's another one. It's like I kind of had the same feeling. I'm like, I wonder what that's like. A figure of that size and die-cast. Yeah, TB League does really good stuff, and it's interesting to see it translated into 1/12 scale.
Yeah. That new that RPD, basically the zombie cop 1/12 scale, it just came out. Like in stock at certain stores. That thing looks really good.
Yeah, they're doing some cool stuff, man. And like I said, I saw the RoboCop, and I was like, I just kind of want to see what this feels like in this scale and diecast. So I'm curious to see, but yeah, Oilers, that concludes the I know you got to go, but that concludes our Inart segment of the stream. I really appreciate having you on. It was insanely valuable to me, especially to have you on, because again, I really do value your opinion, and it was nice to be able to talk to someone that had a direct look at all this stuff in person over this past weekend. So it was definitely an absolute pleasure, as it always is, to have you on and to talk with you.
Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for having me on.
It was a pleasure.
I'll have a video about my personal thoughts in detail, hopefully by tomorrow if I can finish editing it. And yeah, Harry Potter sucks.
Oh man! Hey, how's
Nice.
He was planning that the whole time. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. That's hilarious. I give him points for that one. That was funny.
Finish.
No, it's the. I think I don't know if it's 12 scale. It might be. It's die cast though, Don. I know I pre-ordered it on Big Bad Toy Store, but I think it might be Hiya Toys. I think he's right. Yeah, laugh it up, everybody. Laugh it up, Fuzzball. We had a question here from John. Sorry, I clicked on this comment. John says, do you think they'll do the Bouche Leia next year? I think it's one they definitely have their eye on. I would hope they do, because that's a very iconic look for Leia, and they've already kind of gone through a good portion of the catalog for Leia outfits. I mean, we have the Return of the Jedi Endor look. We have the ceremonial look from Bespin. We have the A New Hope iconic look with the cinnamon buns on her hair. So, and we have, of course, the Last Jedi. But
I could see it happening just because Sideshow never renewed their batches on the Bouche Leia.
Yeah, I could definitely,
because you know when they want to try when they're trying to keep the license, they'll release they'll release another batch, like the Michael Myers, the Freddy Krueger, the Jason, the C-3PO, the R2-D2. Like if they're trying to hold on to those licenses, they'll wait a while and then they'll bring out another batch, so that way it renews the license and they can maintain it. But the Bouche Leia is one that they never did. Like basically a lot of their Star Wars figures they didn't do second runs on. So I mean, there's a chance for Hot Toys to come in and be like, all right, we're going to do it, especially with the Return of the Jedi anniversary coming.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I mean, well said. I do think it's definitely part of their discussion. I think the Return of the Jedi 40th is going to be good. I mean, if we look at ESB, the most recent figures that we got from the anniversary, we did get at least like 6 or 7 figures from the ESB line. And unfortunately, 2 of them were reissues, but I do think that's going to happen again. We're going to at least have 2 of those slots taken up by reissues. Most likely, we're going to get Palpatine again without the throne. That's my guess. I know Don and CNB have said this before, but it'd be amazing if they gave us the Return of the Jedi Vader with like an electrocuted head sculpt to kind of mimic that
transparent,
scene.
I want black transparent body with LED USB effects that show the skeleton on the inside.
Yeah, that would be really cool, dude.
I'll pay Hot Toys $800 for that figure if they come out with that engineering.
And we need the Sebastian Shaw head sculpt. Absolutely, we need that Sebastian Shaw head sculpt. Yeah,
they gave us a transparent Vader with LED USB features that showed you the skeleton. Man, with lightning effects. Heck yeah. Heck, if you threw in the Emperor so I could have him actually hold him over his head, I'd give you $1,000 for that.
Dude, yeah, I'd shell out some serious money for that for sure.
Yep.
Oilers, get out of here, dude. You're a prankster. That was hilarious, though. Take care, man.
Oilers took legendary level for the night.
Micus Dropicus. Yes, that is a Micus Dropicus.
Legendary trophy unlocked.
Right. 16 Shooter says the Sideshow Bouche isn't too bad except for the unmasked sculpt, but I'd love a Hot Toy. Yeah, it is very interesting. Some of those older Sideshow figures do still hold up. I mean, I know the body is kind of chunky on that Bouche Leia, but like look at the Greedo, for example. Like a lot of the alien figures, they do still hold up. Even the Gamorrean guards, I still think that's the best Gamorrean guard figure, period. Not in any scale. The 6-scale Sideshow Gamorrean guards are really, really well done. So I hope that they eventually go back and revisit those.
Who has not held up from Sideshow is your boy coming in 25, of course, or 2025.
Look, we're just about to introduce Sean here.
Mace Windu.
So Sean,
25.
Before Lane gets them all hyped up, Sean has just arrived. Our friend Hot Toys Nightmare. Sean, you came just after the Inart stuff. Perfect timing for your favorite franchise and my favorite franchise. We're talking about Star Wars. And I know this is a set that you're definitely interested in, whether it's the Mando or Kawil. I know you're going to be grabbing at least 1 or 2 blurgs. But how you doing, Sean?
I'm doing all right. So I'm actually 100% committed to all Mando stuff.
Yeah.
So everything that they come out with, I'm at least ordering one of. So I have this ordered. The Quill and Blurg, the standard Blurg alone. Because, hey, who knows? You know, maybe one day Disney will get their act together. They'll hire back, who, and we'll get a Cara Dune.
I would love a Cara Dune. Man, dude, please.
Yeah.
I mean, make amends and let me get that figure. I loved the character. I truly loved the character. I was so disappointed to see that. And her interactions with not only Mando, but what's his name? Greef Karga was amazing. I loved the dynamic between the 3. It was like every time you saw them together, you're like, the boys are back in town. Like that was the vibe you got from it. So I'm hoping
season 2.
Right. Dude, he said Sideshow Hammerhead is fantastic. Yes, it is. Every time I see Hammerhead, it just reminds me of Rogue One, where Admiral Raddus is like, "Deploy the Hammerhead Corvette," and it just rams into the that scene is amazing. But every time I hear Hammerhead, I have to recall that scene. Rogue One's such a good movie, man. I was so happy to see Rogue One in theaters again. I can't even express to you how happy I was to see that. David, it's hard to say. I mean, obviously, Hot Toys knows at this point that we want Predator and Terminator stuff really bad. They know. They have to know. Just like they knew about Cyborg and Mark 46. They knew. So, and I think Cigars is kind of with me still on this one. I still think that we're going to get the feral Predator from Prey and possibly even Naru with a dog.
I'm still on it. I'm with you on that. I think so, too.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Cigars and I noticed this the other day. NECA just finally, they're doing their 31 days of releases or announcements, whatever they call them. And they just finally put out their prototype images of the feral Predator. So who knows? Maybe there was some sort of embargo that we don't know about. Hopefully, I know that's kind of wishful thinking, but who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But I do truly think that at the very least in the near future, we will see the feral Predator from Prey and possibly Naru with the dog. That would be really, really cool. So I would absolutely love to see that. And I would love to see another classic Predator, another jungle Predator, like them redoing all of these older Predator figures, them redoing Dutch, redoing all of these characters. Cause obviously a lot of those need a redo, and especially the Predator figures that had that really crappy pleather that was just cracking on people left and right. It could use a relook and a reimagining, you know? And I say this all the time. It's like, some figures deserve a 2.0, 3.0 reissue more than others. And I think the Predator and the Terminator line really deserve another chance, you know, because not only did a lot of people not have a chance to get those figures, but a lot of people who even own those figures would like to see an upgrade, you know? So we'll see. Let's see. Newt, my name is Newt. Nobody calls me Rebecca except for my brother. Prey was an excellent movie. I absolutely loved Prey, dude. I was a huge fan of that. I know most people generally really enjoyed the movie. Some people were like, is it a bit overhyped for me? And I know for a CMB, I absolutely adored that movie. I loved everything about it. I really, really did. I was really, really pleased with it. Yeah, man. Hayden, how's it going, bro?
That old school Predator feeling of the movies.
Yeah, it did.
From the Jungle Hunter.
It gave some power back to the Predator. That's what it did. And that's what we were hoping for.
Of the hunt, you know?
Exactly.
It didn't go... You know, the first one gave you that, you know, the kind of sci-fi horror action and that tension of the hunt. And then, you know, 2 was okay. They tried to do it more action-packed, you know, story. But then after that, the rest just became they lost track. They just were making movies just for the sake of it. We'll just throw in some action here and there, and you know, we'll throw in the Predator, and they're gonna love it. No,
it got very watered down.
You threw out the original recipe, and now you're trying to remember it, and it's ruined. Go back to the kitchen and find the damn recipe, and that's what they did with Prey. At least that's how I felt.
So
I agree.
They went back.
Hey guys, can it be possible for a company to troll you? Because I literally just got an email from Sideshow telling me, "Hey, Peacemaker is back. You can come order it." Literally just sent an email to me. And
I got an email from Armorized Deadpool earlier.
Yeah, it says if you really want Peacemaker, you want to order it soon. Because once our items sell out, they're gone for good, like Tears in the Rain. So they said, get it now. And it's on. And it took, I'm like, oh, I guess maybe is it back in or something? And it takes me to waitlist.
Yeah, I didn't get that personally. Peyton says he just got back from seeing Black Adam. It's a good movie. The Rock is great as Black Adam. I'm probably going to see it Friday or Saturday. So I'm really, really excited.
Saturday with Violet and Nate.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You are. Yeah, that's going to be a fun time, dude. I'm really excited to see it. I know at the very least I'm going to see it with my girlfriend.
I didn't care what the critics are saying because the ones that are complaining, I'm like, this is how I know you don't know about Black Adam's origin, because you literally went in there thinking that it was going to be a Venom anti-hero movie. That's not Black Adam. I'm sorry. If you would have known his origin and gone in there thinking, knowing it, then your review of it would have been a hell of a lot different. But all these negative reviews on it, and it's literally stupid complaints. It's too much action.
Give me all the action. That's what I want. I want all the action. I want all the killing. I went all
That's
with
what
Snow.
we-
Big movie, man.
That's-
You're supposed to
That's
have
what they were
action
complaining about in
fighting.
comics. Everybody sitting down, eating meals and burgers and talking about how they feel and not like doing action hero stuff and punching each other, which
Right.
is
I'm excited for
what
this movie. I'm
heroes
like,
comics are for. Is their hero action stories.
Yeah.
So-
Leighton, real
excited
quick.
for it, so.
We
Bring it,
absolutely
let's
are
do
going to
it.
touch on the Steppenwolf at the end of the stream, towards the end of the stream, because Chris and I are really, really excited for that one. So we're definitely going to touch on that towards the end of the stream.
You know what we really need is we need an Expendables type of Predator movie where the Predator
Just like
comes
the whole
in
crew.
and the Expendables have to fight for their lives.
Oh, that.
And this time the Predators win.
Yes.
One six shooter says Cobb Vanth was in 2 episodes. Grief Car got 2 seasons, no figure. Yeah, and I really like that swaggy new like ceremonial robe that he was wearing in the next season. Yeah, so I'd love to see that look.
Yeah,
that look would be really cool.
Outfit now.
Yeah,
so I think we're gonna
that'd be
see
really
him with
cool.
the politician outfit.
I would love to see that.
I just got news. Beetlejuice 2 is now in development.
Oh, let's go.
Isn't that
Dude,
Johnny
Michael
Depp?
Keaton's on fire, man. He's just trying to give the fans everything that they want.
Guess who might be coming as Beetlejuice?
Not
It's
Michael
Johnny
Keaton.
Depp, ain't it?
Johnny Depp.
That's what I saw.
I would be fine with that. I mean, of course, I would love to see Michael Keaton again, but I would be.
Yeah, but
I think Johnny
I'm
Depp could
cool
pull
with
it
that.
off. Yeah, he could pull it off.
Yeah, he definitely pulled it off. I mean, look how many movies he's done with Tim Burton.
And like Sweeney Todd, like
They work
Seriously,
together.
why doesn't
real well.
Johnny Depp and Tim Burton just get it on?
I also saw
They've been in
today.
so many
a
movies.
story.
I mean, Tim Burton basically gave him his
Something's
first
wrong
role.
with you,
like,
Sean.
I
his
know.
knockout role.
I mean, they might as well just start dating, you know?
Christmas
Out of the
Story
picture,
2
so as long as
coming
Tim
as
ain't
well.
shitting in the bed, I'm pretty sure it worked.
Yeah, I saw the thing with the Christmas Story too. I don't know how to feel about that, dude. Because every time stuff like that happens, it's like it's just like kind of a pointless movie.
There's
but
no originality to that. Let's face it.
no. But hey, guys, we're getting into the Mando and the Blurg set. So I'll be honest with you. On Geeking Out yesterday, we talked about this quite a bit, and I started by saying I'm not getting this because I already have the OG Mando, and then we really did like a deep dive in the OG Mando as a figure, and it looks like they've made quite a few changes to the articulation on the figure. It seems like that fat suit has been kind of slimmed down and removed in the areas where it didn't need to be extra padded, and it seems like overall they've kind of tightened up their paint work and everything. You could even tell in some of the comparison shots that we've seen on Facebook and such that the paint job is slightly different between the two figures. So now it's got me thinking, well, I may wait and try to get a deal on this guy, because we do have 3 SKUs in terms of the Blurg guys. We have the Blurg by itself, which has been released in Hong Kong. We have the Mando with the Blurg, which has also been released in Hong Kong. And then we have the Kuil with the Blurg. Of course, there is a Kuil figure by itself, but I'm just merely speaking on the Blurg sets. We have 3 of them. And of course, this being a pre-order from last year, it's still subject to be a shelf warmer for quite a while. So for me, I've already paid off Kuil and the Blurg, but I might consider getting the OG and Mando and the Blurg if it gets like a 25 or 30% off. That might be what it takes to reel me in and grab it. But people in the panel and people in the chat, real quick though, before we move on, guys, we have 45 people watching. If you have not already, please drop a like on the stream. It definitely helps us out a lot. Also, if you aren't subscribed and you enjoy what we do here, please consider subscribing to the channel. We would really appreciate it. But with that out of the way, guys,
how big this Blurg is.
Yeah,
Like,
so this
actually
is a beautiful piece, but it's giant. If you have a DTOF, guys, we kind of went over the dimensions yesterday, but it's not going to happen.
It ain't gonna fit.
Unfortunately, it's not going to
25
happen.
inches long.
Right, it's gonna
fit
hang
in
out of
Billy.
the DTOF. Yeah, it'll fit in Sean's big
in Sean's
roomy displays
customized
in his
Billy,
basement.
yeah.
Right.
And his customized
But
Billy, yeah,
with the
problem.
Mando on this,
No,
I think
it's. I was just gonna say, sorry, Lane. I was just gonna say real quick. Even a normal Billy bookcase is 31 inches wide, so it'll still fit in there. You can put it in there. It'll just be sideways. It won't be straightforward.
Right.
But it'll fit.
About your custom Billy, would definitely you can do it straightforward.
Well, I could do 3 of them with mine.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it in
Crazy
Guy's
custom Billy
hand
he
here. It's
made.
literally like he's not a very big dude, so you can see it's covering up like most of his torso. It's a big piece though, but it looks incredible. Again, guys, when I saw the Mando and we kind of looked at him in a detailed way and kind of see all the different articulation points and such, I'm like, man, I could use a second OG Mando and just have one on the blurg dedicated to the blurg next to Kuil, and then one in my display with IG and stuff. And I think I might end up doing that if it goes on the deal. Matt says, I just don't see the appeal of this fishy dewback. Yeah, it's not for everybody. And speaking of dewback, that's one that I would absolutely love to see.
What makes me want. I see this and maybe go dewback, man. Like I'll be all over.
Yeah, with the sand trooper, that'd be incredible.
Or whatever. It doesn't matter. But just seeing how this looks like, I mean, we all thought from the prototype it looked like, it's one of the first kind of creature monster things we've seen them do like this. But it's got a little bit of articulation, so it gives you a little bit of that figure feel to it, at least.
And I wanted to point this out because I was incorrect about this yesterday on Nate's stream. We weren't sure if it had foot pegs. It does have foot pegs, so you'll see if any of you in chat and guys on the panel, if you have the end game Thanos battle damage, he comes with that like rock display base. This basically has that exact same base. It just has pegs built into the base that correspond with the peg holes on the feet on the blurg. So it does peg into the base for a bit more extra stability when displaying it. So that's really cool in my opinion. I don't know why they consider this a tread watch. It's really just like a detailless square, but you can see he has it pegged in on the base here. And again, it's as a whole piece with the base and everything, you're looking at like a guy's torso here. So it's quite a big piece.
I think you're looking at, from leaving out if you're holding the blaster up, but you're looking at this probably with the Mando on top of it.
Yeah.
23, 24 inches almost tall.
It's a big piece. Now, I don't know if I'll use the rock base because I just don't see the appeal of him on it. It just doesn't look like breathtaking to me. I think I'd rather just have him like on his feet, as long as he could stand that way, which I'm assuming he can. He looks pretty balanced. But we don't know until we get it in hand. And I don't know if they show it off standing on its own because I haven't watched this video yet. But
yeah, I think it's on the base the whole time.
Yeah, I think it looks incredible. And I will agree, though. We kind of talked about this yesterday as well. In certain lighting, the paint job doesn't look the best. Like there's just something off about it. And Cigars, I want you to kind of say again what you said yesterday. I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was a good point in terms of like a different finish that they could have applied to the skin to kind of change the look on it.
I think what we were talking about yesterday is like, I think if they would have added like, I was trying to think of the word, but Mr. Mom Collectibles actually helped. He said the word I was trying to think of.
Oh, so Mr. Mom, if you're still here.
Yeah, it needed a sheen because I kept saying, if it had like a clear light coat to give it that almost like the reptile amphibious like wet look, so it looked more actual, like instead of dry. Because it actually, when you look at it in certain angles, the paint looks like the skin is dry, like it's flat. But then you look at it in natural light, it brings it out so much more. But if they would have put like a light sheen coat, a light clear coat, kind of give it somewhat of a wet, moist kind of look, I think it would have made it definitely pop out more. Not saying that it doesn't already, but it would definitely help to bring out some of the muddled paint that you don't see in artificial light that you do see in natural light. Yeah,
that's a really, really good point. Payton says they did a good job on the blurs. I think they did. I think overall the sculpt is good. I do think in the proper lighting, it does look really, really nice. And I think I'm going to be really excited to have it in my display and possibly have two eventually. Who knows? But guys, as I was talking about earlier, they did make some changes. And this is kind of like a 1.5 OG Mando. They did make some changes. I'm sure you can already tell if you have the original one that the torso is much slimmer. And not only that, he does have his arms closer to his sides. So that tells me that they've removed a lot of that chunkiness out of that area in the shoulder area and the torso area. So it allows for better articulation. And that was obviously necessary because if you have the original OG Mando, it would have been kind of a pain in the butt to put him on the blurg just because he's not that posable in that manner. I have him kind of like standing straight up and down in my display, holding the tracking fob. But this one is definitely a big improvement in terms of articulation. And you'll see here in a second, when he starts to articulate it, it's kind of effortless. And the original one, it's not. You really have to push it and kind of try to futz with that fat suit underneath and kind of move it out of the way as you're posing it. And that's not the case with this one.
And
at least from what we could see.
The head moves.
The head as well,
better in the new one. It moves really forward, like can push forward really far, back, up, like left, right. compared to the original one where you can barely move the head around, you can see all the improvements they definitely did. Like the arm being able to raise up all the way, that slimmer look where he doesn't look like he's been working out in the gym trying to get swole.
Yeah, their proportions are much
suit.
better on this one.
Yeah.
Much
this
better.
This looked more like actual Pedro Pascal in this suit. You know, the other one looked at like if Pedro Pascal was working out, you know, for about a year for a new action movie. This
Putting in
one
work in the
actually,
gym.
Yeah, because I mean, if you take the OG Mando and you try to put it on the blurred, it's not going to have that natural sitting look like we see with this one. It's going to have that toy look where when you put toys like in a sitting position, whether in a vehicle, on top of something, it has that like, oh, it was placed there, not where it naturally looks like it's actually sitting in place.
Exactly. And again, I also mentioned earlier that it's something we mentioned yesterday, the armor is a darker paint. I don't know if they changed that because it's more accurate or if the scenes that you see Mando in with the blurg, that's closer to what he looks like because it's a very obviously purpose-built set. I'm very curious about that. And also, obviously, I don't have the audio on. I wonder if they improved that little peg. Something tells me they probably didn't, and you still have to be very careful with that, guys. If you're getting this set and you don't have a Mando, I haven't had a Mando yet, this Ambon pulse rifle, that little peg that it has is very brittle. So
yeah,
a trick that a lot of us use is just don't push it in all the way. Push it in like kind of halfway where it still has that effect of it being plugged in, but you don't risk breaking it as you pull it out.
Yep.
There you go, guys. Apparently there's a classic Iron Man on seconds. TK, thank you for letting us know that. Eddie said that stings. Does it sting because they didn't upgrade the peg? Is that what you're saying? Was it Sean? Were you about to say something?
Yeah. So I just got an email from my local comic book shop. So Dr. Volt's got the blurg in for me.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'll be able to pick that up either tomorrow night or
the Mando and blurg, or just the blurg?
It just says blurg, but sometimes it could just mean that he's just shortening it for just the blurg or the blurg and Mando.
Did you get one of each, like one standalone blurg, one Mando and blurg, one Kuiil and blurg, or did you just get?
I did.
Jesus.
I told you I'm 100% invested.
I know.
I didn't know that you literally. I didn't know that you literally meant each one.
When you get invested in something, seeing your display, I know you go all out. So
yeah.
It's to me, it's just I shouldn't be shocked, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Pierce Brosnan, yeah, dude. That's the figure I want to see, man. Dr. Fate. Give us that Dr. Fate figure.
If any of you guys haven't checked out Hot Toys and Nightmares YouTube, you should, especially if you just want to see his display. He's got a very impressive display.
Yeah, the link to his channel is in the description as always. Even though he doesn't have us in his description, we have him in ours.
Jeez.
I haven't done a live show yet.
Yeah.
You
do videos.
Send me your stuff and I'll put it in there.
Nah, once Sean gets famous, he just forgets about us. That's all.
Isn't the
what was your name again?
Who are you guys? Why am I even in this stream?
What were you saying, Lane?
That voice sounds familiar.
Hasn't the flight suit been changed for this one though too?
It appears to be slimmer. I don't know if the colors have changed at all. I couldn't tell that. And I think at one point, it's in this video, right? Cigars Terry shows both next to each other. I think it's in this video. Okay, yeah, it is.
That's where people were thinking.
I want to show the articulation.
The newer one might have been taller or shorter, but
taller. Yeah,
I think you're right. We saw that it's not taller. It's that the head was pushed down. So if you bring in, because he puts them closer together, and you can see that they're pretty much. If it is taller, it's like by maybe point something taller. You know, it's not a big difference to where you're like, I need another figure.
Exactly.
Always does that.
Damn Toys Vito Corleone is on second as well. That's one I'm still considering. After I got that Resident Evil Leon S. Kennedy Damn Toys figure, I was very impressed by Damn Toys. So I'm definitely, I'm of course getting the Claire, but I'm definitely interested in that company and see what else they do.
Oh, if you're unsure about it, P-Rock's got it. He did a review on Vito Corleone.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. I didn't know he did.
Yep.
Most people army build.
Oh, here we go.
Clones and droids. And Sean army builds blurgs.
Right.
Army builds everything.
I also army build clones too.
So does Nate.
Oh,
Nate
I know. I've
everything.
seen.
All right, guys. So here's the two next to each other. If he'll stop moving them around, there we go. So you could see here, you could definitely see that the armor is darker. Like it's not as light as the original one. It's very subtle, but it's enough to where you can notice it, especially when he has them next to each other. And again, this is the new one here on the left. Obviously, the right one, it does, of course, the new Mando does not come with that awesome like Stormtrooper helmet display base.
Nah, just a giant blurg.
Right, just the giant blurg, but you could see, and you could even you could even see in the torso area, it's much slimmer compared to this one, and in the arms as well. You could see the arms just go closer to the body, which like, and with the clones, for example, a lot of people mod their clones to get the arms closer to the body. Some of the newer ones, they did kind of make more of a cutout in the chest armor to do that, but definitely looks really, really good. I think I'm very impressed that they took the time to make some changes to this, being that it was such a quick reissue. I don't know if you guys remember, but on eBay, OG Mando at one point was fetching like $500. Mm-hmm. So to see, not only did they reissue it that quick, but they made some changes to where it's like a 1.5. Definitely really, really good to see.
Well, they did that with Venom as well.
Yeah, they did the same with Venom. And also Yoda, they put out another batch of Yoda pretty fast.
Yep. Yeah. And it's actually different. Those are different too. Me and Kevin have ours because he's got the first version. Mm-hmm. I got the second.
And this one comes with the very, even though it's going to cost more, obviously, it comes with a very unique, with the blurg. It's a first of its kind.
Yeah,
creature that they've done. So
it's a special release for Star Wars Hot Toys for sure. Very special.
Is it just me, or does the helmet on the older one look shinier?
It is shinier.
Yeah, I mean, it does look. I will say it does look like a very similar finish. I'm not surprised that they didn't use the new Chrome Mando finish, because that's like, that finish is very difficult to do. So there's no way they were going to ramp up their production line to do that finish for a reissue. So I'm not surprised they didn't switch to that yet. That's probably why that Beskar Mando from season 2 is going to get pushed back.
Well, I mean, if you look at it though, like the Mandos side by side, the fabric underneath the chest armor is more yellow.
It is
versus the original one that's tan.
So Sean's talking about right here, guys.
Then you got the left thigh armor, and that looks like it's a completely different tan color, and it's weathered more than the original.
It is. You can definitely see there's more weathering in it.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting for sure. 16 Shooter says Vito is a must buy, especially if it's on discount. It's fantastic, as good as the original Hot Toy. Yeah, I've heard, and again, dude, when I opened that Leon S. Kennedy from Damn Toys, I was very impressed by that company and the amount of detail work that they put into the firearms, into the even down to the tread on the boots and the details on the boots. Very, very impressive. So that's definitely a company to look out for if you haven't bought anything from them yet. Definitely keep.
If you end up getting Vito present, I think it was Present Toys. They did Michael Corleone.
That's
Looks
cool.
Really good. So you can have Vito with Michael, and he actually comes with a lot of accessories, just like Vito. He has his chair. He's got the glass of whiskey and all of that. So
that's dope.
You can have that whole. You can do the scene where Vito's sitting in a chair and Michael's got his hand on his shoulder, standing behind him.
Right. That's dope.
Or vice versa.
Check that out.
It's
definitely tempting because that's such a classic group of films. I love those movies, and it's like the figure is really well done.
Third one. I know a lot of people got to hate for the third one.
But yeah, I don't think the thing is though, if we look at the third Godfather and we compare it to
the first two, you're like, what the hell is
right?
This?
But then compare it to some of the crap we get now. It's like that movie's still good,
Yeah, well, and I mean, you got to remember though,
especially since they released the Coda edition, so you got 45 minutes extra.
Yeah, I mean, we're still talking about it's not going to be the same thing because you're talking like even at that time when it came out, like 15 or more years later too.
Yeah,
that's what we talk about sometimes with. Does a sequel work? We talk about, some movies like putting out a sequel like 4 years later. Is that too long for when, something is, a sequel or people are interested in the movie? Like, I don't know. What about like how long it took for the sequel to come out for Sin City? You might remember. You guys might be a little bit young for that. Maybe some of you in here, but back in 2004, that was a huge movie. And they took forever.
Look at the time. Look at the time gap in between the prequels and the original trilogy.
Yeah, and people back in that time frame had, well, why doesn't it look as dark and rusted and grody or anything like the original trilogy did? And why is with this
3 is still terrible.
yeah.
Hey, RoboCop 3s are commonly terrible. RoboCop 3 is terrible.
Yeah,
The
that's
Godfather 3 is terrible.
Alien 3 was
People
terrible.
hated on Terminator 3, but I actually liked it.
Terminator 3 was ass.
3 was terrible.
I liked it.
Well,
I liked it.
hey, that's the thing is though, when you think about it though, for as much as maybe the movie was bad, all those extra pieces certainly make the action figure look really fucking awesome with the jetpack and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it may not have translated into the live action.
And they gave it a Peter Weller chin sculpt, so I'm cool with that because Peter Weller wasn't in the third RoboCop, so I'll take it.
He knew it was time to. He knew when it was time to fold him, man.
We can't give him credit for that because he did have scheduling conflicts. He was going to be in it, so he just got lucky. That was one of the cases where he got lucky.
Maybe he's too busy doing streamers or something like that instead.
Right. It wasn't like Michael Keaton, where Michael Keaton's like, no, this script is horrible. I'm not playing Batman again. Michael Keaton, see, he knew. He had the choice, and he's like, nah, this script is trash.
Yep.
Change it.
He came out. He said he's not going to work with Joel Schumacher. He straight up said that.
The dude made the worst Batman movies of all time. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
This is so looking here now.
They should have kept it with Tim Burton. Tim Burton had a vision, and it was really well.
Yeah, I could see where though there was some things with like maybe it wasn't exact. I don't know how a third one necessarily would have gone, just because 2 was a little uneven and somewhat with the story and stuff. I still like Batman Returns, but I see the kind of the flaws in the storytelling for
I think with a lot of those.
Hey, in Batman Returns, Batman killed somebody. Remember, he puts
he
that
didn't
grenade,
just kill some.
he put the stick of dynamite on that
he
circus
did,
guy.
yeah.
That strong man, and don't forget he barbecued that like flame spitter guy too with the Batmobile on purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's different than watching Batfleck go like mow dudes down.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
that's different.
Technically, no, because Batfleck. I mean, the worst he did was he threw the box
I don't even
in the
blame
warehouse at the guy.
He killed aliens.
It's not his fault that the guy was in the way of the box and got thrown into the wall and smashed his head open. That's not Batman's fault.
However, though, I can't blame Batfleck completely, like for what was Batman not killing people, but sure looked like he was murdering people or was killing people because, like in Batman Arkham Knight, you had like in the Batmobile running dude down, but they tried to do they did like he zapped them or something, so they weren't dead. I'm like, I ran over that dude with the Batmobile. He's dead.
Yeah,
man.
He's dead. He's dead.
Like,
Man. I'm doing over 80 miles an hour. That guy
and I just
dead.
ran over him. He's dead, man. So don't try and tell me. He just got electric. I hit him, and he's getting electric shock as he dies. To make it extra painful or something. But this.
Right. So yeah, we've made our way over to the last chance page. Lately, not everybody's friend, including myself, because they force me to order something long
really
before I want to. They're absolutely forcing my hand because I could tell you two right now that are currently on the page that I've already pre-ordered. Guys, the Bark Speeder, specifically the heavy Bark Speeder with the sidecar, has made its way onto the last chance page. This one kind of threw me for a loop because it is a vehicle, and I know the vehicles already, for the most part, have lower pre-order numbers because they're expensive and they're large and it takes up a lot of place in your display. But it's a clone. I kind of had faith that this one's going to last a little bit longer. But with that being said, and it's $600. Yeah, of course, it's the more expensive speeder first. But with that being said, guys, I had to drop a pre-order on this one. If you are still thinking about it and you do like to purchase from Sideshow, definitely pre-order it sooner than later because this one has been sitting for, I think this is the second day now, going into the third day. So it's probably not going to be there for much longer, guys. It is a clone at the end of the day. And a lot of people that are building their clone displays, they may be tipped over the edge with this one, seeing it on last chance. So if you're considering it, I would recommend dropping a pre-order on it. It does hurt, especially if you've already spent a lot of money this month because we're nearing the end of the month here soon. So the NRD on this one is $61. But with that being said, it's going to be an absolutely beautiful piece. I love the sidecar. I do plan on, and no, I am not joining this Ahsoka on her mission. Absolutely not. No, thank you. But it's going to be an absolutely beautiful piece. And that sidecar is a work of genius from Hot Toys. I can't wait to have that sidecar kind of swung out and having a clone stepping out of it as if he's about to get into battle and he has his blaster up on his shoulder. It's going to be really cool. And not only that, the heavy clone I think is really, really dope looking. And I love the little satchel that he has. It's not a purse, it's a satchel. I love the little satchel he has here. I think it's really cool.
Bag.
It's a man purse.
It's a merce. He's got a merce, guys.
Yeah,
Leave him alone.
It's a clone purse, man.
Exactly.
It's a man purse. It's not a satchel. It's a man purse.
It gives all the battle droids, the shinies, what exactly and tinnies that they want. Lots of grenades.
Yeah, it's military issue. Leave him alone.
Indiana Jones had one. Yeah,
so
did Joey Behar.
Right.
I do have to. So
Indiana Jones made the merce cool.
You know, I know we all have affection for the old speeder bikes and stuff like that, or even the like the swoop bike, Anakin's old broken down swoop bike that's going to be coming for Mando season 2. I know we like those enough, but I have to say, I just from the aesthetic toy/action figure thing, I think these Barks blow those out of the water.
Oh, they're beautiful. And Lane, you know this. I'm a huge fan of the 501st because it's Anakin's battalion. So because of that, it gets put to the top for me.
My favorite too.
And dude, obviously there's a lot of amazing moments from the Clone Wars with the 501st, but that scene in the last season when Anakin has all the 501st hiding under the bridge and they all jetpack up onto the bridge.
Yeah.
Dude. That scene right there was dude, I am buying huge spoiler.
Well, okay, several years now. I'm sorry.
Right. I'm that right there is what made me. I'm dude, I'm buying every 501st that they release. And I'm still sticking to it. Every single 501st they release, I will buy. I don't care. A lot of people are like, you're gonna buy Vaughn? Yep.
Man, I'm surprised we haven't got the 501st Jet Trooper yet.
I know, dude. That'd be so sick.
Because the helmet art and everything, the colors that they put on the helmet are completely different than the regular 501st.
So, it'd be an easy repaint for them. Yeah. Dude, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Speaking of 501st, we need ARC Trooper 5s and ARC Trooper Echo. Absolutely need. That for me, dude, if Hot Toys gave me that, other than the 212th Trooper, I would be like, you gave me everything I needed from the Clone Wars. Because
you're picking up Jesse, right?
Yeah, I'm already paying for Jesse. They just started the payments a couple months ago, so I'm already paying for Jesse. I have Vaughn, I think, paid off for the most part. Maybe one payment left on Vaughn. So yeah,
I have a lot of people trying to convince me that. I have a lot of people trying to convince me I should get Jesse.
You should. Jesse's.
I'm kind of, for what I feel like. I've kind of changed what I'm going to actually, because I was not going to get either of the Barks. But I think I'm going to get Commander Appo and the Bark Speeder because I prefer having more of the name clones.
That's fair. That's a fair thing to say. And it's cheaper.
And I don't care about the sidecar, honestly. I think that, to me, the sidecar looks a little weird.
See, I love the sidecar. I'm the opposite.
I like the sidecar too.
I like the Bark just kind of by itself, but also he's a commander. I like the commander.
No, I agree. There's definitely more appeal to
but he's also not just an exact. He's not exact just color palette swap of Cody or something. But I don't want to take away, even though this isn't something necessarily I consider. Plus the 610 price point, it's just too much for me.
It stings. It stings for sure. I want to do the rewards on this bad boy, and they got me.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to get. I haven't 100% made up my mind about this, but I think I may get the Bark with the Appo, and that's going to be kind of my swan song. And I'm not saying for all prequels, because 25th anniversary Revenge of the Sith or something like that for main characters. But I think for clone figures and stuff, he would be kind of the swan song glass. He would be the kind of the capper for Clone Wars, clones and stuff for me. I think he would be the perfect thing. He's a nice vehicle, name figure, part of the 501st, because kind of for me going forward, the clone guys I'm getting are these. I am all in on the Bad Batch. I love this figure so much. I love this figure.
I'm gonna end up grabbing him off seconds eventually because he keeps popping up. So he's gonna be popping up for a while.
Because I've already got Hunter paid off. Hunter's been paid off for at least 3 or 4 months. So, and now I already have pre-ordered Crosshair. So for these guys, for Clone Wars style stuff, even though obviously Bad Batch is kind of its own show or whatever, but it's a direct connected thing to Clone Wars and such.
Well, they were in season 7.
Yeah, and for their kind of backdoor pilot.
I just needed 212 and I'm good.
Yeah, but
212 is definitely a must for sure.
The 104th is the must.
A 41st as well. I would love the 41st.
Yeah. But Bad Batch is going to kind of continue my clone stuff. Like that's where I'm putting my focus. I just the one I don't think we're going to get of the 99 is going to be Omega. Even though I would really like to get her.
See, yeah, that's the thing. I would love to have her, but I really don't care. As long as we get the 5 original,
yeah,
I'm cool.
And it can be, even though they're getting new armors, I want their original armor, kind of like the darker, like they carried over. But I think the heavy weapon clone trooper, I think that's going to stick around for a little while. I mean, because the KX droid is still on there. And that's been up there for a little while. Like, I'm not saying you can wait 2 months or something like that, but I think that may linger for a little while.
Here's the thing. I will say, I don't want to say it because Don said this yesterday and it kind of gave away something in the show. It wasn't like a huge spoiler. Speaking of Don, I want to address a couple comments. Don said Peter Weller put back on the suit for the KFC commercials. Yes, I remember reading about that and I saw the commercials and I was like, oh, that's funny. That's funny that was his way of returning to RoboCop. Let's see. And Leighton also asked, do we think we'll get a Jabba for Return of the Jedi anniversary? No, I don't. The reason I say that is because, look, I truly do think the N1 is on the list of things that Hot Toys actually wants to do. I've changed my opinion on that. I do think they are going to end up giving us the N1. So with that being said, it's going to take up a big portion of their production for the N1. So I don't think they're going to be doing any big pieces like that. For a little bit.
The sideshow job is not bad.
No, it's not.
I got it.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Good.
It's very
and
nice.
They
I've
brought
seen
out
it in
another
person.
At my comic shop, come taxes, I'm getting it because
I've seen it in person. It's very nice. Hey, Ant, how's it going? What figures are you talking about? Which are you comparing?
It just shows that it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah. So there's a figure here that may. So I'm going to say the KX, I'm surprised that it's still around. I'll just say that. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm surprised the KX is still around. And it's been on there since Kate Bishop popped up, and Kate Bishop was gone shortly after. So I am surprised that KX is still there. I did drop my pre-order on KX. I know multiples is ideal for them. I just need one. Guys, I'm being very selective about my duplicates. Me personally, I'd much rather get a duplicate of, say, Bespin Luke. Like I'm getting 2 Bespin Lukes or 2 Vaders from Kenobi. Those I'd much rather have duplicates of than the KX Enforcer. I already have K2SO, so it's like I'm not feeling my need for a K2 droid by getting this. I just think it looks really good. I love the weathering and I like the base. I'm curious how many of you have either already picked up KX Enforcer, both in the panel and in the chat, or are considering picking up the KX Enforcer. I dropped my pre-order the moment I saw it pop up because he was on my list. Like, guys, the stuff that pops up on Last Chance, if it's currently on my wish list, I'm like, I have to grab it, So like Classic Loki, for example, Classic Loki arrived on Last Chance and he sold out not long after. So as of right now, Classic Loki is gone. He's gone. So I'm not surprised by that one. Guys, if you haven't noticed already, a lot of the stuff that's popping up on this Last Chance page, once again, is are figures that have low pre-order numbers. Peacemaker, apparently the Bark Speeders, this Iron Man stealth armor, KX Enforcer,
for a reasonable amount of time, or since they came out,
right? Really, and now obviously they're moving. Yeah, obviously they're moving quicker now, but generally speaking, these are figures that are not selling nearly as well as we thought. Like, believe it or not, guys, Reva has sold very well compared to a lot of these figures that are showing up on this Last Chance page. She was high up on the best sellers list for a bit when she first showed up. So you can't always make that assumption about a lot of these figures. A lot of people didn't like that character, and Oilers kind of mentioned it earlier. That figure is just so well done. Like, from what we could see in the photos, like if it's close to the prototype, it's a really well done figure. Like, that sculpt is beautiful. So it's like, And not only that, we're most likely going to get those other 2 Inquisitors, the 5th brother,
and fourth sister,
and the 4th sister that we were just recently shown. So that's a way for people to also complete the line. So whether they like the character or not, they're like, it's going to look good with all the rest of them. So,
and it's one of those things where maybe not tons of people are going to buy them, but.
Ant's talking about the Asmus Gandalf. Yeah, the Asmus Gandalf, also another figure that's not Hot Toys related. The 3-0 Arya, I noticed that one's last chance as well. I have that figure on pre-order. I think I have like 1 payment left on her. If you're interested in getting the 3-0 Arya from Game of Thrones, season 8, she is on last chance as well. Moving Creatures, how's it going? Good to see you. I don't know if you called us the last stream, but it's really good to see you. I hope you're doing well. How's your night going? But yeah, guys, the last chance page has kind of become a thing that you have to pay attention to. Primetime Reviews. So Primetime Reviews, shout out to you. I just kind of became aware of you the other day. I think you commented on my Crow video. So it's awesome to see you in here. I'm seeing a lot of new faces, some fellow content creators popping in today. So it's awesome to see you. Guys, if you haven't, check out Primetime Reviews. He's got quite a substantial catalog of videos on his channel. I was just checking them out the other day. So it's awesome to see you in here, man. I don't know if you do the live stream thing very often, but maybe one day we'll have to pull you in with the crew and kind of talk figures with you.
I have to say, of the comic Iron Man tier, the stealth armor one, I'm actually probably would say of those, I'm not surprised that this one is the low stock of the more recently announced ones, because I'm willing to bet this is, I think, the coolest looking one of all of the past ones and everything. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the one that had, of the more recently, It in the War Machine was the one that people were ordering.
Yeah,
here's the one my kid wants.
I could see ones. Like, dude, like a kid looking at this, like, oh, shiny, it's blue, it's shiny.
He saw the OG classic, and he was like, oh yeah, because he's a fan of the original look. But then I was like, yeah, that clear plastic's going to turn yellow over time, and he's like, I don't want it no more.
Right.
Well, and the thing is, though, too, this is an exclusive. It's marked as an exclusive, so that can be why it has low numbers too.
True. And I think also, kind of going off of Lane's point, think of it this way. A lot of people bought into that OG Iron Man comic rendition. So if you just bought the OG Iron Man, what's going to be your first one that you grab to go with the Iron Man? It's going to be the War Machine. As cool as this looks, you got to grab the War Machine to go with the Iron Man. So I'm not surprised by that. With that being said, I wouldn't also be surprised if War Machine shows up next week on this list or 2 weeks from now, you know?
Yeah. See, my son's the Iron Man fan. I'm the War Machine fan.
Yeah. And I do think these figures look good. I was initially very hyped for these figures. Honestly, I can honestly say I have zero interest in getting them now. It's just so much has happened since then. My hype for those figures has just gone.
Yeah, so, I don't want that classic War Machine. Yeah. I don't like that clear plastic. That's the only thing that turns me off.
I don't either. They do look good, and I love like the skinny proportions.
I'm looking forward to Sunday when I finally open my War Machine Mark 1 I got in the box right now.
See, that's the one I'm waiting for it to come into stock with Sideshow. I found one on eBay, and the guy offered me a pretty good price, brand new in box, but I kind of want to do a payment plan and not just fork out.
Mine's still in the box. I haven't opened them yet.
Yeah, I'm on a payment plan kick right now because I'm buying so much stuff.
Right now, because at the beginning of the month, I was like, I'll just do straight payments. It's fine. And then by the middle of the month, I was like, damn it. I should have just
Dude, it hurts, man. Something like this month, I bought a lot of stuff. Man.
I'm still feeling pretty good myself because right now I only have 3 figures on payment plan. I've got Mando Luke, who's on the last payment. And next year, I've got the Mark III Iron Man, and I've got RoboCop.
Let's just say I have over 30 on pre-order.
This week, Monday, I finished paying off the last for my Scout on Speeder from Return of the Jedi.
Don Prime, we got another one for the Kill Board.
Hey, you deserve it, Don. You know how many times you made me buy stuff? Write it down in the notebook. Sorry to cut you off.
Yesterday, I finished paying off the premium scale Optimus. So just out of those two, I had to fork over $400.
Yeah, that hurts, man. I mean, I've had 5 figures shipped this month, and all but one I did not have paid off. So that stung.
That's why I'm hoping for Spooktacular to have really badass deals. So that
Me too.
Yes, I can justify it.
Me too, man.
We talk about this, though. The one thing I've got coming that's like the big boogeyman hanging over me is J&D Harley Quinn. Maybe supposed to be here either end of this month or next month. And
look at that. So I should pop it up with different.
Oh yeah, they
offers.
do that to me all the time. I'm like, bro, leave me
Yeah,
alone.
this
I don't
is
want.
new.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
want
but
this.
my sideshow.
I like the animation though. That's cool.
Yeah, my like the statue I got in today. The Batman has like a 20% off sideshow statues or something.
Nice.
So,
so guys, also side note, I just want to say what's up to Jedi's Night's Watch. I know I briefly mentioned earlier, but we had so much going on during the Inart talk. Thank you so much for being here, dude. Again, another person I just kind of interacted with the other day. I was checking out his channel. I was definitely aware of who you were. You have a pretty big channel, but I had never interacted with you. So it's awesome to see you here, dude. Again, I'd love to have you on one day or vice versa. I'll come on, whatever you guys got going on over there. But good to see you, man. Thanks for being around, including everybody else in the chat. But
I just watched his collection tour too.
I did as well. Yeah, I just checked out his collection tour. He's got a very like purpose-built collection, which I like. I'm not purpose-built. I'm like, I love everything. I'm just gonna throw everything together.
Purpose.
Yeah,
that's
me
now.
too.
I'm in mess right
I ended
now.
up
Clone
spreading
collector,
myself too thin because I
yeah,
was like, I like statues and I like figures and I like comics and omnibuses and this and that. I was like, damn it, I gotta focus. I'm spreading myself out too thin.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way right now.
I had to
Clone
do that
collector.
too.
Yeah, so Sean's like weeding out a lot of his Marvel stuff too, and kind of focusing more on the Star Wars stuff, which makes sense. I mean, Sean does have a massive Star Wars presence, and I do too in my collection. But as you guys know, I just recently, as of like 8 months ago, started collecting non-Star Wars stuff. But I'm having such a fun time with it, so I don't regret it. But my wallet does. Clone Collector is saying he just got a waitlist opportunity for the Boba Fett quarter scale, Armorized Deadpool, and the Iron Man Mark 1 Special Edition. Dude, I did too.
yeah, so did I.
I did get the Iron Man Mark 1 Special Edition a couple months ago. I was so happy because that was like a huge regret for me because I considered getting into Marvel Hot Toys when that was announced. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to let this happen. So I missed out on that opportunity, but thankfully my waitlist converted. I'm definitely very, very on the fence about the Armorized Deadpool. I originally had zero plans for it, but it just looks so good, man. And I actually, believe it or not, in my cart right now, I have the Armorized Deadpool because my waitlist converted as well, and I'm thinking about it. But also, there's like a couple figures that I still have to pick up that are in stock, like the Vision from WandaVision, the Return of Jedi Scout Bike. So there's a few things I still need to get that are in stock, so I might wait because I think it's going to keep coming back, honestly.
Yeah, the Scout Bike.
Raxa said, I like toys. Yeah, don't we all? It doesn't matter what type of toys you like. There's a little bit of everything for everybody.
How many of these you guys get?
So yeah,
one. I'm just getting one.
I'm getting two for sure. The reason I say that, I want at least 2 pit droids, and I want 2 R5s. If I just wanted the pit droids, I probably wouldn't buy 2, but I want 2 R5s as well because I want one to throw with my OT stuff. So I'm gonna get 2 R5s. We didn't get a chance to talk about this last week because this was a really exciting announcement for me. I don't think that the price tag of $265 is unfair for this whatsoever, me personally. I know this does not have any die cast, but with that being said, it is 3 different figures for $265. I don't think that's terrible. If we look at like the Force Awakens R2, I believe that was $220. It had a die cast dome, but not much different from this one apart from the die cast dome and the LEDs. So I don't think $265 is terrible, especially when we look at our bad modern pricing on Hot Toys. Everything keeps going up. So I'm not opposed to this price. And I think with some rewards, I'll be happily grabbing 2 of these packs for sure.
Yeah, I look at it like Sideshows. Their R2 is $165. So for $100 more, you're getting 2 more things.
Yeah, I mean, even if you base the pricing off that, it doesn't sound too bad. It really doesn't.
And better quality anyway. So
exactly. So yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, guys. This is the other thing is like we do see 2 different other pit droids here. So will I be upset if I buy 2 of these packs and we get 2 more pit droids? Absolutely not, because I love the pit droid. I think they're hilarious. I love that they collapse down into like that tiny little form. If you're a fan of the prequels, especially, you guys love the pit droids. You know, I mean, they're easy to fit in your display.
On display.
What'd you say?
I think Sean had mentioned like in our chat that they had 2 on display somewhere.
I know.
We did. It was,
and they also had the Jawa on display as well with the N1.
Yep.
Yeah,
with a hairy arm.
Yeah,
sure to show you because his sleeve was down. They made sure to show you that he had a hairy arm.
Dude, I would love that.
They did that on purpose.
When we got those pictures from Monica, it was showing the 2 different pit droids with the 2 different paint colors, and then it showed the Jawa with, you know, what Polly likes.
You can see it even in this photo.
So-
like, look at the top of their dome. One has a black stripe that goes around. One has a tan
One's
stripe,
red.
and the other has
And
a
then
dark
the
brown.
belly is different.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it
you
was
know
ba-
they're going to give us another pack with just the.
I think
the
it'll be the
little
Jawa and those two. I think that'll be the pack.
That's what I was
That's what
thinking.
seems
I
like.
think
it makes
it'll
sense.
because if you look right there in that picture, if you go back one, it shows parts of the power droid.
Oh,
So I
that's
wouldn't be
right. There was
surprised
a
if
power.
they
There was
reuse
a
that.
power droid as well in that N1 display. You're right. There was a power droid.
So I
I'm
wouldn't
just
be
wondering if
surprised
they're using
they're
that.
N1.
Yeah.
Dude, I
They're
missed that
using that from the
Jawa
original
and the Gonk.
Jawa
so
Gonk.
I hope it's a better than the original. That
Yeah,
light
you
piece of
didn't miss
crap.
out with that Jawa and Gonk. Trust
Yeah.
me. Like, I got that, and when I looked at it in hand and everything, I was like, I regret this purchase. So I just turned around and said
Dude.
to my kid, "Hey, you want this Jawa and Gonk for your display?" I sure do. All right, justified. The
Here you go,
purchase.
son. Enjoy.
Just justified the purchase.
There you go. Yeah, dude, a Jawa and Peli pack would be awesome. I think, dude, I love Peli. I know she's one of those characters you either love or hate her. I think she's hilarious, and every time she pops up, I'm happy. You know.
We get her. That'll be literally the fourth figure that TD predicted that came true.
Yeah, that's true. It
And
will
it was
be.
crazy. He's new at this, and his predictions are all coming true.
You know, with Hot Toys and the Mandalorian, I'm not surprised at anything anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the Frog Lady,
Yeah,
and they gave us like her pack and like a couple of the ice spiders.
dude, that
That'd
would
be
be
cool.
sick. I love the ice spiders. I have my Razor Crest up here. I have the 3.75 ice spider pack, and I have them crawling all over the Razor Crest. That'd be
I think
sick.
it'd be cool if we got the Mama Ice Spider.
Yeah, the big one. Yeah. Payton says, "Who's picking up the M1 when it drops?" I absolutely will.
I am.
I am.
Do I have substantial space for it? No, I'm probably gonna end up hanging it from the
I do.
ceiling, but I'm grabbing it. I have to, dude. I
have
love that
space.
ship.
I have
Oh,
space as
we
well.
know, Sean. You have space upon space upon space.
I got my own house now, so it's only me.
Yeah. I'll find space for it. CSI says, seeing these pit droids makes me want a 1/6 scale Anakin, Pod Racer, and Sebulba. Dude,
No,
That'd be sick.
Starfighter. That's
Yeah.
what
I
I
do want the Starfighter, but I would absolutely, if we got like an Anakin set with young Jake Lloyd Anakin with a Pod Racer, dude, absolutely, I'd buy that.
I
You
would
know, I
take
have to say-
Jake Lloyd in general. Like,
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just a Jake
Uh-huh.
Lloyd Anakin figure.
I have to say, I like all the discussion on this stuff, but I have to say, did you guys see that limited pre-order 1/6 scale Battle Cat that Mondo
Yep.
is putting out?
I
Mondo.
posted on the Facebook group. Yeah, it's going up. They actually gave the date for it.
25th.
way to
Good,
kill
but
Star Wars.
It's still got that whole.
Yeah, the 25th at 12 p.m. CT.
Yeah,
but it
it's
does
gonna
look
be $500
toyish,
though. It's $500.
It's
So
$500,
just put it down.
and it's still got that toy look though.
Will
I mean, compared to, like,
Foxification in the
like some of
house.
their-
What's
Hey,
going
Will.
on, man?
Hey, Will,
like
how you doing,
some
sir?
of their He-Man
Holy
figures
cow.
like Hordak and Merman. Like, you look at those, you're like, damn, they look good. And then you look at the
Mr.
cat, and you're just
Fox.
like, wow, that's
Disappointing.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
There's the word. That's the word I was looking for. It's
It does look
disappointing.
cheap. Yeah, I mean, it is a cool
For
set, but it's like
$500.
$500 though. It's
But,
like,
you know,
at that
but
point,
my-
Inart
my-
Gandalf looks pretty damn good. you
Yeah,
know?
well, I would say, if you guys wanted, if you wouldn't have the movement, but like PCS is putting out the 6 scale statue, which is huge. That has Battle Cat and E-Man.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if
more
you
along
really
their
like He-Man and
traditional
Battle
lane.
Cat, spend that money
You
and
might
get
want
something
to-
good. You know,
It's like
PCS has
$1,000,
been
but
making
it's
some
more.
really good
but
statues. Like, have you
Yeah,
seen their
but like
new
that-
Cybot statue? That
Yeah.
thing looks sick.
yeah, that's hard.
yeah,
that's hard, bro.
their
I've seen that.
Tila, their Tila they put out fit, but the problem is they're like 5th scale or whatever, so they don't.
That
just
Ronin
match.
statue, that thing looks
Yeah.
awesome.
The
Yeah, for sure.
the one that finally convinced Loco Lou to finally buy one. Pony up and buy a statue.
Oh, Will, not much, bro. We're just talking about some Star Wars stuff. We missed last week because I was sick, so we're talking about the R5. We were talking.
Hey, wait a
about
minute.
Last Chance
Wasn't
stuff.
it like somebody set up some like high standards that you had to man up to, and you failed that like the following stream?
Who, me?
I don't know who.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought the bar was set.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So what Sean's talking about is Sean did he did stream live from the hospital bed. So I guess me being sick and
Oh,
taking off
yeah.
was pretty selfish. You're right, Sean. You're right. You're right. You got me on that one.
I forgot about that. Yep, Sean set the bar up. Like, no excuses.
Yeah, he
you have
did,
to
he
literally
did.
be dying, and somebody's got to be trying to resuscitate you back to life to miss a stream.
Here's the thing. In my defense, I had no voice. I'm sure you can tell my voice is still coming back, but dude, my voice was cracking every 3 seconds. I kid you not. It was bad.
No
Yeah,
excuses.
didn't
It was
we
You could
say
bad.
have
no
got you could have gotten an
excuses? Yeah.
interpreter. Could
Chris,
You
I
could
don't-
have typed.
Chris,
You could have typed.
excuse me, sir.
Could have typed everything out.
Oh,
Could've typed
me
everything
arm
out.
hurts. I don't think I could make it tonight. Yeah, we should take off, mate. Yeah. I don't want to hear it, Chris. I do not want to hear it. You were right there with me. You're
Okay,
like, yeah,
it must
dude,
be
let's
some
take
other
off.
Chris because I don't know
Yeah,
when I
nah.
got
Oi, mate,
Australian.
me arm hurts. Yeah. No, but Will, yeah, we're just talking about R5D4. We did our Inart talk earlier, so I know you're interested in the Inart stuff. So if you want to see what we had to say about that, definitely check out the replay. But it's good to see you here, man. I know you don't live in Maryland anymore, do you? I don't think you do. I think you moved,
No.
but Chris and I are from Maryland. I don't know if you knew that or if this is your first time here. You wouldn't have done
left
that.
the group, man.
Yeah, I currently live in Maryland, so it's cool to see you, man. You're kind of like up there in the YouTuber ranks, so it's
left
some
us
inspiration for me, you know,
independent.
a fellow Marylander up in the ranks.
Man,
There's
if
quite
I
a
still
few
lived
of
where I
us.
lived like 15 years ago, I would have, because I lived in Washington D.C. like 15.
Oh yeah,
years,
you weren't
16
far
years ago.
then. Yeah. Let's see. The collector says, "What's your history with seconds? Just damaged boxes and not open." Yeah, so I just got a figure from seconds the other day, and it was just a beat up box, but the figure inside and the clamshell and everything was fine. Of course, your mileage may vary. I've seen people get seconds figures that were already opened before. So it's really going to depend on your personal experience. But for the most part, I've seen people just get damaged boxes, which, like, for example, on Echo, you get them like $43 off for a damaged box. You think I care about the damaged box at that point for $40? No
Yeah,
way.
no.
Yeah, give me that seconds figure, dude. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm gonna grab a deal on seconds. I mean, I
I'm
could
not
have bought it the
collecting
other
the
day. But
box.
exactly, like the boxes are nice, and for some figures,
You're gonna get those people coming out of the woodwork now.
No,
They're gonna start
I'll
joining.
say this.
Man.
I'll say this. For some figures, I do want the box to be pristine. Like those anniversary boxes for Attack of the Clones
Box
and
has to be
ESB.
perfect, man, or
Those-
GTFO.
Those have to be perfect. For 2-packs, I don't know why, but my 2-pack boxes have to be perfect because I love 2-packs. So it does depend on what it is, but generally speaking, like for Echo, who cares about the box? Give me that $40 discount. I'll take it. Oh, so Chris was incorrect. He is still in Maryland. He went to
moved
Delaware, but back
he
to
was
Maryland.
there, like
Back
if
to
you
Maryland
saw
now. Okay.
his
Are you still in like
streams-
the Salisbury area? I think that's where you were before. And I
If you
appreciate
saw
you
streams,
saying
he
we're
was
killing
moving.
it, dude. I'm trying. We're working our way up there. We're all trying here. Dudes, yeah, so thanks for asking this. To collector, you can stack the 15% off ID me discount. So guys, I'm not in the military, I'm not a veteran or anything, but because of my occupation, I was able to get a 15% off on ID me. So I have that as well. And I've been messing around with it, and it does, yeah, I can confirm it does work on seconds figures as
Look
well.
at me, I'm Connor with my occupation.
So like Chris is just really jealous because most people in the panel do have the ID me discount. So everybody put an F in the chat for Chris because he wasn't able to get the ID me discount. I'm sorry, dude. You're just gonna have to get those codes that come on every Hot Toys box.
Yeah, this is what I get from work.
Right. Yeah. Chris is like, dude, I slave away at my job and I hurt myself in the process, and they don't give me 15% off. This is BS.
And they don't give you
Bullshit,
AC.
Right.
Yeah.
And then me, Sean, and CMB are just chilling here. They're 15%
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, and I'm out here
Yep.
giving you your hot toys. I'm putting it at
Right.
your doors. All right?
Not in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
but you are in some people's
Hey.
neighborhoods.
You know what? I didn't get my UPS package today, Chris.
Wow, Chris. Dude, you suck, dude.
Collecting madness is right. The
You
madness is not delivering.
All right, guys. I'm gonna pull up something that may or may not interest some of you, but holy crap, was I excited when this first popped up yesterday. Oh,
Yeah, I've been
Dude, and I
waiting
know-
to talk about this with you.
yeah, I know CMB is with me, man. Dude, this is huge for me personally. Not only if you're a fan of the Silent Hill games, but the movies, dude. We got a 1/6 scale pyramid head finally. And the funny thing is so I've been chatting here and there with the owner, one of the owners of Iconiq Studios. And I could tell that he's a big horror fan. When he was chatting it up with me, the dude knows his stuff when it comes to horror. So I was hoping to see more horror stuff from them soon. And they delivered. They posted a teaser on the Iconiq Facebook group because obviously we've had a lot of news about Silent Hill in the past day or so. So he posted a teaser before that news got dropped, And in the comments, we were kind of like, oh, does this mean we're getting 6-scale Silent Hill stuff? And he was kind of being vague about it, but kind of giving us a little bit of a breadcrumb here and there. But lo and behold, he drops the mic on us. Iconiq drops the mic on us, and we did get not only the Pyramid Head, but you'll see after this, we also got the Nurse. Guys, this is huge for me, and I think at $289, it's not a bad price at all things considering. This, you guys have to know, this is a massive like figure. This is a big body. The Pyramid Head's a big figure, you know, it's a big
dude.
Character.
Big dude in the game.
Yeah, he's gonna be taller. He's gonna be taller than your normal 6-scale figures, because even in like, the movie and the game,
are we talking like
towered over
Venom?
people. Like Venom, yeah. I'm thinking Venom.
Yeah, let me see if he has the dimensions listed. I don't. It might be too early in the process.
I just excited because we got overloaded with Silent Hill news yesterday. We got the movies coming, part 2 movies
game
coming.
remake.
We got part 2 game remake, and then 2 brand new games, Ascension and F. And F takes place in Japan during the 60s. I'm like, dude, I
that's gonna be
cannot
so
wait.
hard. I can't wait.
Yeah,
man.
and then that teaser for Ascension just looks like the bad main villain. Like, you know, he's like the newer version of Pyramid Head. He doesn't have a Pyramid Head, but he's like big, and he's got like
exactly same
like,
stature. Yeah,
same stature. He's got armor on him, and dude, I hope we get a figure of that Ascension.
And here's me too. And here's the interesting thing: the base does not have a grabber, so I wonder if they're pulling the Inart and doing the magnetic base.
Could be. How cool would it be if the sword is metal, so that way it magnetizes to the base? Dude,
that'd be crazy. And a lot of that stuff I don't think they mention. A Great Spirit detachable tip for oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that you can detach the tip of the spear. Base with Silent Hill topper. Yeah, it doesn't mention anything. It's probably too early in the process. Guys, if you do pre-order directly from Iconiq, I don't know if you guys know who this company is, but trust me, you will. This company is doing big things. They did the Ryu figure, and they also teased Ken recently when they showed off the final product for Ryu. And the Patrick Bateman figure as well, and also Muhammad Ali. All these figures are up on Sideshow for pre-order, including these now. But if you're pre-ordering directly from Iconiq, just know that these are closing on November 30th. He's actually closing these pre-orders pretty early, so I don't know if that will be limited on Sideshow, but
one of the guys from Iconiq, he was on Collectors Weekly, like they're British guys who come on.
Yeah, so Andrew's gonna be joining us one day on stream as well. I've already talked with him, so I'm really excited to have him on. Cigars and I especially are very enthusiastic about this company. They're doing stuff that people want to see and that we specifically would like to see, like horror, and Chris as well. Chris as well is a big horror fan, and so he knows how difficult it is to get like not a custom, because there's a big love for custom horror figures, but they're very expensive. So for officially licensed retail figures, there's not enough companies doing it. Thankfully, we have Sideshow doing some nice horror stuff, but Iconiq is going in the right direction with what they're doing. I mean, Muhammad Ali, Patrick Bateman, Ryu from Street Fighter, and soon Ken. Silent Hill, we have Pyramid Head, man. Like, it's stuff that it's a horror fan's dream and a collector's dream, really, especially with like Muhammad Ali. If you're a boxing fan, like, come on now. The only other thing that would make me really excited for the boxing stuff from Iconiq is like a Mike Tyson figure. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Did you see the one I just linked? Had you guys seen that one that had come up?
Which
Let me
one?
see.
Hold on. I see the link that you posted. Oh, the Allison.
Alice from Madness. From the American McGee's Alice and Alice Madness Returns.
I like the game, but I don't like the figure.
I was wondering if anybody was familiar with the company, because I actually kind of went like.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that. Yeah, I have not seen that.
Yeah, it's. I was a huge fan of Alice and Madness Return, like a huge fan of both those games.
Yeah.
I liked them. They were like a different take, the whole dark.
Yeah, I did like Madness Return as much because the ending was weird. It looked like it was setting up a third game and stuff, and I was like,
yeah, they did that whole cliffhanger thing, and then they never actually fulfilled it.
Yeah. So look at the Nurse looks really good, man. I love the dirt and grime.
Man. You gotta get 2
I know that's what sucks. I'll probably
minimum of 2.
But and I will say, even the ankle area, there is a seam, but I think the dirt and grime and stuff kind of does a good job at trying to hide it. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see the final product to see what it really looks like, but I'm digging it, man. It looks really, really good. So let's see. Someone mentioned Moose Stream mentioned the Jailhouse Presley. I think both of those Elvis figures are actually sold out on Sideshow. I think they're both sold out. Did you end up pre-ordering either one of those, Chris?
Nah, because I'm still indecisive. Like, I like the sculpt on the Jailhouse one, but I like the outfit, you know, because of that Vegas look.
The sculpt is definitely better on the Jailhouse one. I mean, they are still available through other retailers, so you have time to decide. Sideshow's not the end-all, be-all retailer, but
that was the only thing. Because I want Elvis represented in the collection, and I wish they were doing his '69 comeback.
Yeah, that would be
special,
cool.
And I definitely get that, but
yeah.
So,
and also,
I
guys,
want him to have color as well.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, maybe they have more planned. We'll have to wait and see.
I hope.
Guys, once again with these figures, they're working directly with TB League for specially developed bodies, which is a huge plus. I mean, you could look at Ryu and Muhammad Ali, for example. The Muhammad Ali body is scary accurate in terms of the proportions of Muhammad Ali at that age that the figure is portraying him. It's incredible. So, guys,
the Ryu worried me from when we saw the earlier.
Right,
photos,
we saw the prototype photos, and we're like,
"Eh,
that's not too good."
Like,
but
then it looks like Fred Flintstone, yabba dabba doken.
Right. But yeah, guys, so
product totally reassured me.
Blew us away.
When I saw
the
video on YouTube of their unboxing of the final product and everything, I was like, damn, dude. It literally from proto that they showed us like somewhat kind of done like a month ago to the final. I was like, they went in and they actually made the changes really quick because they fixed it. It looks nothing like, what we were making fun of.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm
actually considering it now. I really am considering it. It's beautiful, man.
I saw the unboxing. I was like, yep, I'm definitely getting it. Like when I saw what we were making fun of it, like that's when I was like, no, I'm not getting it, man. If this is what they're gonna produce, I'm not getting it.
Oilers said, "You're still live. Good for you guys."
Well, we are approaching the next 3 hours.
So,
especially
Clone Collector,
Ken coming.
Exactly.
You can do the whole Ryu versus Ken.
Exactly. Clone Collector, when I was chatting directly with Andrew from Iconiq, he specifically told me he will not be reissuing anything. So, yeah. So once it's gone, that's it. So that's definitely good to know.
Limited items.
Yeah. Yeah, Oilers, that'd be cool. He seems like he is interested in going further with the Street Fighter line. When he was chatting with some people when the Ryu final product photos were put up, he seems like he's interested in going further with it. So I think that'll be definitely a Chun-Li, especially.
Plenty of characters for Street Fighter 5. So I'm hoping after Ken we get Akuma.
And I hate to say this, but I don't hate to say this, but it seems like he was interested in Mortal Kombat as well. So just saying. It seemed like he was interested in
who? Ugly ass arm joints? Go away.
Right. I dropped the breadcrumb too. I was like, hey, dude, just saying, if you give us a Doug Bradley pinhead, that'd be great. Just saying. He's just like sent me a thumbs up. He's like, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Original Cenobites.
Oh yeah, I said that too. I'm like, yeah, give us Butterball, give us the female Cenobite, give us the Chatterer, give us everything, Yep. But guys, definitely keep an eye out for Iconiq, guys. They're doing some really exciting stuff. Again, the pre-orders are live on their website, Sideshow, and other major retailers. I'm probably going to pre-order those Silent Hill figures sooner than later, just because I'm worried that they're going to sell out quickly, just because they have other figures. I don't believe they set a time. I could be wrong, but I don't believe I saw they put a time release date. But yeah. We'll see what ends up happening with it. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on it. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I'm just saying I don't know if they're going to be limited through Sideshow as well. Probably not, but I'm going to keep an eye on it regardless.
Yeah, definitely keep your ear to the ground. Like I'm going to wait just a little bit because, like I said, I spent way too much this month, and I still got to spend a lot next month going into Christmas for my kid. Like,
yeah, I feel you, man. But guys, this is one of the more exciting things for me this week. Step in. We will use the old ways. Now I need the freaking dark side to go with it. But guys, I'm so happy that a company that is relatively reputable with good work like Toys Era has decided to take a stab at the Snyder Cut Steppenwolf. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. It looks really, really good. I love the eyes. I hope the LEDs in the eyes are as good as they look here in person. I don't think the joints look unsightly whatsoever. I think they blend pretty well with the body. But if you're a fan of the Snyder Cut, you know that this is a huge improvement over the original Steppenwolf look. This Steppenwolf makes the original one look like a biatch, straight up. makes him look like a biatch. So
Really
Well,
does.
the original one was.
yeah, he truly was. But this Steppenwolf was kind of a force to be reckoned with, and it was a nice little ending. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it already, sorry, but when his head got sliced off and got tossed into the portal and crushed by Darkseid, that was like one of the best moments of the film, in my opinion.
My favorite was Superman intervening when he was about to clobber Cyborg, and it hit right there, and he was like,
Oh
I'm
yeah, he
not
just
impressed.
flies in front of him and it just hits his chest, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool, nice
He's
axe,
like,
dude." And they
not impressed, and then
Yeah.
just freaking
he cracks his
freezes
neck.
up.
Yeah, that was dope. But yeah, this looks incredible, and apparently the eyes are voice activated. I don't know if I care about that, but it's an interesting feature, I guess. I don't. What do you say? Like, we will use the old ways, and then the eyes just come on. Like, what do you?
No,
Like,
you
you
say,
know?
Steppenwolf.
Yeah, you just whisper his name. I don't know, but for a third-party company, if this turns out anywhere near the prototype, I think it's pretty impressive, personally. And I'm definitely getting it because Chris and I have talked about this quite a few times. I'm like, dude, we need a Snyder Cut Steppenwolf. We need a Snyder Cut Steppenwolf. We got a Snyder Cut Steppenwolf. Let's see. This and the Dark Side, they are making me want to assemble the whole league now. So yeah, I'm just finishing. I just finished my whole league. Once I actually get the Black Suit Superman, Nightmare Batman 2-pack in, I'll have my Black Suit Superman. Actually, right next to me, I haven't unboxed him yet, but I have the Justice League Superman. So I'm excited to unbox that one. I'm not going to do a review or anything because no one cares to see a review of that at this time. But hey, maybe next stream. Would you guys like to see that, me unboxing the Justice League Superman? I do agree, though, for a third-party company, and I'm always very skeptical with third-party stuff, but for a third-party company, I think it looks really good. I'm really excited.
You know
Can't
what?
always knock the third parties because I mean, look at Sosa Toys Kingston.
Yeah,
I
Soso
really
Toys is
want
definitely
that
one of those
figure.
companies that's like in a league of their own, dude. They're putting out some really, really cool stuff. I actually kind of want the hero lawyer, the Matt Murdock figure. I think it looks really good.
Oh, apparently Sean's dog wants it too.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. Even
it's
Sean's dog
just-
agrees.
Yeah. So I wonder with the whole voice activation, if we could choose like what.
It's because it's
call
recording
it.
you. Never trust anything that has a
That-
microphone.
Sean-
I
Sean
know.
would be
Like,
like-
for me, I would be like Mace Windu 2025.
Oh, my God. Stop
Exactly.
it.
2025, the Windu
Hey,
of
Aiden-
Mace will appear.
Aiden says, "Do we think Hot Toys will do it?"
No.
Yeah, but if they do, I mean, if that's what pushes them to do it, then go for it. Because
Here's the thing: if they didn't do the Children of Thanos after they just kept releasing one after the other, they're not going to do Steppenwolf. They're not going to, unfortunately. But I think this is your opportunity to get a good Steppenwolf. Toys R Us does have a relatively good reputation in terms of third-party stuff. So I'm going to end up going with this one. I'm not going to hesitate. You can see voice-activated light up function. I'm wondering if it's just you say Steppenwolf and it turns on. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. The molding would cost too much. Euler says they should have named him Trotting Fox as a third-party Steppenwolf. That's clever.
It's gonna be a
There
glitch.
was-
Because it's a third party. You can't even say Steppenwolf. You're gonna have to say like Pikachu. I
Or-
choose you.
or you have to-
power
yeah.
on.
there was
Yeah.
a guy who did a custom, and the whole thing of Steppenwolf, it was static. It was 1/6 but it was like completely metal,
Yeah,
and it looked
I'm
pretty
sure that
good.
was cool. But yeah, price on this one, guys, at least on TNS figures, which I'm not recommending this website. I've bought from them one time, but just on this website, I like their photo format. It's $300, $45 deposit. Look around elsewhere. You'll find other places selling it, maybe around the same price or slightly cheaper. I'm going to be putting in my deposit closer to when they cut off the pre-orders. I'm probably going to get mine from 1/6 kit, most likely. But yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys. I know someone in the chat mentioned it, and Chris and I are really excited about it. But with that being said, guys, let's move on to the closing of the stream here. I just want to say, guys, we had an incredible stream tonight. Lots of good support. Thank you for like a crazy amount of other content creators came through to support tonight. So I appreciate all of you. Will, 1/6 Shooter, Jedi Knights Watch, everybody that popped through tonight. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for chilling with us. Once again, guys, I apologize that we had to take off last week. I did not do that easily. I really had to think about it. Everybody knows here, I kind of brought it down to the wire, but I'm glad that I did, because my voice just wasn't going to make it through. And I'm still kind of getting over the cold, and I'm feeling it right now. This is the most I have talked in 2 weeks, and I'm feeling it. But I'm glad we made it through. Thank you, everybody, also for being respectful during the Inart talk. I know it's easy to kind of get wrapped up in everything, and it gets a little toxic, but I think we were all very fair. I'm glad that we could have a good discussion about it. I'm glad that I can still be enthusiastic about Inart without feeling like people are going to have a problem with it, and vice versa. You can still be enthusiastic about Hot Toys. It's really good to see, and I think a lot of the content creators have been good about that. But yeah, guys, in terms of the giveaway, once again, I was going to do it on this stream and announcing the giveaway winner, but there just wasn't enough time. You could see we ran almost over 3 hours here in a couple minutes. So either next stream, or maybe we'll just record a video of us drawing.
Have the winner?
No, we haven't ran it yet. So it just closed yesterday. So we haven't ran the winner yet, but when we do, we either make a video so the whole process is recorded, or we'll do it live. But thank you for everybody that entered. There was a lot of people that entered, and a lot of people with some really kind words congratulating us on our milestone. So I really appreciate you guys. And also everybody who has subscribed since then. I can't believe that we're well on the road to 500 subscribers already. I'm really excited to get 500 subscribers, because then, guys, I can start making the community posts. We open up the community tab on the channel. So I'll be able to make community posts, talk about figure releases with y'all in between streams and video uploads and stuff like that. Also, if you haven't already, check out my review on the Sideshow Crow figure. That video is doing really well, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, so I definitely would recommend checking that out. I got this guy sitting right here next to me. It seems like a lot of people are really excited about that figure, and I'm glad to see it. I absolutely adore that movie, and I adore this figure, so definitely check out that review.
Movie's got great quotes.
It does. It absolutely does. It's a
greatest
classic.
Quote is when he tells Shelly, "It rain all the time."
Oh, and that's in my review, actually. It's actually in my review. I said that at the beginning of my review.
That quote has always stuck with me since the first time as a kid watching
me too. It resonates with you, man, because and I don't know if it's like this for you, but also being that that was obviously Brandon Lee's last film, and that's kind of like a quote to live by, given to us by a man who shortly passed away after that movie was while that movie was being filmed. So it's really special to me, and it's a special movie. And guys, again, I highly recommend checking out The Crow. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to that 500 to get that community tab, and we do have more giveaways planned, so don't you worry. We did reach our goal in the Facebook group, so if you aren't in there, hop over. I will be doing that $25 gift card giveaway within the next week. I'll post it up. So definitely hop over to the Facebook group if you haven't already. Let's see. Scott, sorry, I can't talk. Don said we'll do it live. Absolutely. Matt, later, dude. Once again, always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful night. I would say too soon, but it did happen in like 1994. So I'll give you that one. He said Brandon Lee was Baldwin. But Chris, I know you just uploaded a video actually right before we started the stream. So kind of share with the stream here what video you uploaded.
So it's kind of a Hot Toys style video, like where I do the Hot Toys tips. It's kind of a tutorial on how to get rid of that excess dye that's in the 1/6 scale dry robes. So for anybody who has ever experienced staining on the tunics or on the necks, I show you how to get rid of some of that extra dye so you can prevent that from happening. It is also the video, since we reached 300 subs, that you can enter into my giveaway of $100 to wherever you want.
Go. $100, that's a lot of money.
Just want $100, I'll PayPal you, whoever wins. So all you have to do is be subscribed, comment on that video, and you're good.
There you go. Yeah, so guys, definitely go check out Collecting Madness. Link is in the description. Also, congratulations to Chris. He did get over 300 subscribers this past week. Definitely really proud of you, Chris. You're definitely doing what you need to do and being very consistent. So we appreciate you doing that, man. I love watching your stuff. Also, of course, thank you as always to Lane and Cigars for being here. I love having you guys here. I love having your input. Lane, of course, is our comic relief as always. And of course, thank you once again to Lane for making the giveaway happen. We would not have the giveaway without Lane's generosity. So we really do appreciate that, Lane, as always. And then before we have some closing statements from everybody, Sean, Awesome to have you as always, everybody. Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare. The link is in the description of this video and all of our videos. So if you're watching another video, you can reach his channel and Chris's channel from there. Sean, do you have anything planned soon for your channel?
Yes, just stand by for a moment. Shut up.
Excuse me, I'll shut up. No,
talking to the dog.
Oh, I'm a dog now, huh, Sean?
Oh, wow.
No, you're not a dog.
But yes, tell us, Sean. Oh, Lord. Good thing
You're
you had
the
your
dirty
camera off for that
dishes of
one.
all that need.
Just
No,
keep your
there's
camera off.
my neighbor's having a party out for their daughter, and the dogs are freaking out because they have those little confetti things that you pull a string on. And
those
stuff
little
pops
celebration
out.
poppers, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so I don't have anything planned right now other than whenever I can get the blurg, and then I'll upload a video from there. And then I can go over with my old Mando. If I have the new Mando and the blurg, that would be great. And if I just have the blurg, then I'll grab the previously issued or the first OG and see how well that works on it.
Yeah.
I might even also compare it with the custom blurgs that I have from Inbox Studio.
Oh, that would be a good video.
And compare it with those as well.
I would say do that. That'd be and not many people be able to do that because that was a lower number production piece.
Yeah. And then Inbox Studio is getting ready. They've been working on the Wampa, and so it should be coming soon.
Oh, that's right.
Hopefully.
They did do the Wampa. Yeah.
You know, because that would be awesome to have that to review too.
Peyton, thank you. You as well. Thanks for being here as always, dude. You're always an awesome supporter. So take care, man. Have a good one.
So, but also everyone remember too, once we hit the 1,000 mark, you know, we're going to give away a heavy infantry Mando.
Yes, guys. So 1,000. I mean, I know it seems like we're reaching, but one day we'll get there because of you guys, and then Sean will be giving away graciously a heavy Mando, and that's a very sought after figure right now. I know we saw them preview another heavy Mando, but that one might not be coming out until another year and a half, maybe. We don't know when season 3 of The Mandalorian is going to come out. I imagine that's when they're going to time that announcement for. So it's going to be a minute before we get another heavy Mando. I was thinking about selling mine. Now I'm like, I might just get 2. I might have to.
I think what we're going to see in season 3 is because the armor hands over her tools and everything. I think we're going to see a shift change with Paz Vizsla.
Yeah.
And so if there's a shift change, then he might get a new armor and new colors and everything else. So
that'd be cool. Well, once again, guys, head over to Hot Toys Nightmare channel. Excuse me, Hot Toys Nightmares channel. Link is in the description below. But that's all we have for you tonight, guys. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and chatting with us. If you're catching it on the replay, I hope you're doing well. Have a great night. Does anybody have any words of wisdom or final closing words as we close out for the night?
Thanks for having me as always. And if anybody hasn't already, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment and share, and do the same. And check out Geeking Out. You guys that are
check
here
out Geeking Out.
To go to Geeking Out, you know what times and what days Geeking Out's on. Don't forget to check out that. Don't forget to check out Collecting Madness and his channel. Make sure you sub, like. Same with Hot Toys Nightmare. Check out his channel. Make sure you like and sub. Help support these guys get up, man. They're all about the community and the passion.
Sean, appreciate you for that, CMB. Don says, get your dose of Hot Toys Hotline. On the flip side, that sounds like something Lane would say. All right, guys, Lane's tired, so we're going to get out of here. But once again, thank you so much, guys. Really, really do appreciate you. Have an awesome night. We will see you next Thursday. Take care.
Have a good night.
Make good choices.